Well, they said the guy up the street went to go escape his girlfriend after getting abusive, and that's when I was like, she, wait, I just left my girlfriend's house. She said what? And it's like, oh wait, you guys been watching me, huh? You guys got me. You guys know I just. But actually, that didn't hit me till I asked her later about it, and she said she had, she had no idea. I was like, oh man, they got me. That was good. But no, when I got ran over, yeah, no.
When was that? What was the date on that? So it's been a year.
August 29th.
August 29th,
oh my gosh,
man.
Cheers.
So yeah, look at you. Look at you, man. How'd the cops treat you then?
Hey, man, they were actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just, I felt his pain. I felt like he wanted to get the bad guys.
Yeah.
But he couldn't, because at the time, they're not really allowed to get many bad guys. Because he really wanted to get the bad guys. He stayed with me till I got in surgery. Mm-hmm. And then he even came on the last day, the officer that arrived on the scene.
Yeah.
And I even left early. And then he came in the room. Like, he was really checking up.
Caring, compassionate right there, huh?
I mean, I don't know.
Good for you.
I mean,
good positive
maybe at
experience.
least I could get the video so I could get some money going viral or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dang. Those guys,
You ever catch the guys?
No.
Wow.
But, yeah, because you can't really catch guys who got, like, the shaded license plates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, face masks were very important.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, like, their whole body was like a ski mask outfit. Well, what am I going to say? They had a ski mask bodysuit.
So that's why the cops are good pulling those guys over before they're able to get you. If they had the shaded license plate, that's where they stop them and take them off the street before they victimize people. So positive about proactive policing.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't
Yeah.
be against police, just against the bad ones.
Yeah, and they're a handful.
Or even some bad ones, they need to. I can see the job getting to people, so maybe they just need to. Hey, man, you need to calm down and maybe do some desk work.
Yeah.
Or maybe go to the gym for a little bit.
Cops should have free therapy.
Yeah,
There you go.
they do.
Yeah,
There's a lot of therapy, a lot of therapy in it. They're really focusing on that, like with the veterans community too, in therapy with police officers. So.
Yeah, how was that going with police? Like, well, so they got rid of the Chesa Boudin guy. I mean, was that necessary? Did you not like that guy there, Mark?
Well, I tell you, is one of the things when that whole thing was going on, I came from a real progressive law enforcement agency, 27 years in the business.
Yeah, he was on the force.
And so
Clifford.
did a lot of everything in a law enforcement career. And I remember when a lot of this stuff was going on, is that, the big thing about law enforcement and crime is that there's a deterrent, is that the people perpetrators are afraid of going to jail. And so there's got to be some consequences. Yeah. And, but Bodine, I kind of felt for him, is that here's a guy kind of in the politics of who you are, not what you know, is that you're putting a guy who has a background, anti-police background through his parents, and he's a defense attorney, and you put him in a prosecutor's position. So he's pretty much set up for failure. He didn't know how to do the job, and he was in over his head, wrong guy for the job.
Why is he fighting to keep the job though? I mean, he's still kind of there. He's not. Is he officially out?
Yeah.
Because I see in some outlets it seems like they're still waiting for the next person to have the official job, but at the same time, he is also still trying to come back.
Yeah, kind of the lame duck type of phase.
I mean, all the stuff you're saying seems like maybe he should just go, you know what, maybe this job isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I think that he has to realize that the job wasn't for him. It wasn't the role for him. It's like a prosecutor becoming a defense attorney. It's like two different rules apply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been in some situations where some people weren't meant for the job.
Yeah, some people weren't meant for the job.
Some lawyers, like all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, am I going to jail because my lawyers suck? And then all of a sudden I see this woman come down the aisle. And at first I was like, damn, she is hot. You know, at least I have something to
Ally
look at
McBeal.
before I go to.
Yeah, the Alan McBeal attorney.
I had no idea she was my attorney. I was just like, oh, she is hot. Let me soak this in before I go to prison. I'm just having.
Can you repeat the question, Your Honor?
I'm having the worst thoughts.
Distracted.
Because I think with police, like I'm not good with talking to people too well. So when I get pulled over, I already seem like a bad guy, I guess. I'm acting nervous. And, but then yeah. So it was 5 guys, like the burger place. Failed. And so I was already feeling failed. And the judge was, like, tired of it. And this woman came down the aisle, pushed that door open, talked to the judge. And then all of a sudden, came over to me and said, I'm your attorney, and you're free to go. And she told me, because the evidence wasn't even turned over until I decided to look at it, and it's like, what the hell? Wow, praise women. Women empowerment. Jeez. I mean, because she gets the job done. I mean, it's not even just, just put a woman in a job. No, it's praise the ones that do the good job, even more. I mean, now we have a woman in place of Chessa, or I guess now she took over for him. What do you think about her, Mark?
I'm really not up to speed on the San Francisco politics right now. Last that I was into it was when Bodine was had the position.
Because he was that popular.
Yeah.
Is that?
I think when without going off, I have more buttons than the elevator on the Transamerica building when it comes to law enforcement. But without going off on a tangent, is that we police, and if you remember this, is we police based upon a public expectation. Is that the community has the expectation for police. That's why policing changes from community to community. So the police are the consequence to people's actions, and it's the community that wants that type of police department. And policing is probably the best battle of good and evil that everybody watches. We make movies on it, we write books about it, but when it ends up on your front lawn, it's probably the ugliest thing you'll ever see. And when we're talking about mental health for police officers, we good way to gauge it is what we call critical incidents. And members of the public, they experience maybe a critical incident once or twice in a lifetime. Yours was a critical incident when you got hit by a car. That's the level they are. Your average police officer experiences 800 critical incidents in a career.
Wow.
So it requires a lot of decompression.
Yeah.
Not to make this too serious, but when I have an opportunity to speak, I'll always advocate.
I understand what police are going through in a way. I mean, because how are they supposed to get the people that are doing all this stuff and things like the car break-ins and Cadillac converters? We blame the police, but at the same time, it's like, are they really not doing their job, or is it? I mean, there could be more done, but that's also the people behind the police.
Exactly.
And yeah, so they need to do a more better job.
The public expectation has to change. The public has to say, hey, we're done with this. Let's hire better, more targeted policing, and because we're through with this. And the first thing the crooks know, we have this concept called the broken window theory in police work, that if there's a car outside that has broken windows or something and nobody's giving it attention, is that the first people who notice that are the crooks, and they come into town, they'll start doing their crimes, and then it gets out of control, and then the neighborhoods go bad, the homeowners move out of the area, so it's a real snowball effect. And then you have to reverse that, you have to get back, and it takes years of changing hearts and minds about committing crimes. And so the suspects, it's only the humanitarian thing to do is to give them some deterrent so that they have higher quality of life, not saying, well, it's easier to be a criminal, it's easier to be a drug addict. A lot of the things that they're on the forefront of a lot of politics now, especially like in San Francisco and California, is legalizing gambling, legalizing drugs, legalizing drug use. What's going to be next when you legalize all the vices? Prostitution, right? And so it's not a good thing because you're not providing a place where people can be the best versions of themselves. You know.
I guess what people see from that is, so you legalize things where people are just harming themselves, and then now you could target the when they do the bad things, like the robbing people or the harming people. So now you could really go for it, since there's like, hey, we legalize all the stuff where people just harming themselves.
Yeah, but you know what? The first rule of government is to protect the population, right? You know, and so why are you giving people another
Get to
layer?
the root of it.
Yeah, yeah. Why are we giving people another layer to throw their lives away? You know, when we look at, and this is kind of a skewed way of looking at a lot of our societal problems. When I worked narcotics for 5 years, is that I used to do a lot of public speaking, and one of the questions that came up says, you know, are we in a war in America, a war on drugs in America? And the answer is no. Mexico's in a war on drugs. It's like Vietnam down there. We are in a war on addiction. And so when you look at, you can't look at individual drugs. You have to look at drugs, all, you know, the big pall that goes over drugs. It's all drugs. It's an addiction problem. We're legalizing gambling. That's an addiction problem. You know, it feeds into addiction, and you have different isolated paths to fulfill that addiction, but we're a nation of addicts, and that's the one thing that we have to approach that more as if it's more of a societal problem, and deal with it that way, like a public health problem.
We're really trying to legalize people to identify with what non-adulting, I guess. It's where we could just really just throw away our lives and just keep on living.
Yeah.
And just we are like some of us like that mouse on the wheel.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of these people that do drugs, and it's amazing. The ones that they will still work, like they will just get drunk every day. They will do all kinds of drugs. It's like they're an addict, but they will still make sure they keep on working, or they lose that job, they get another one the next day. It's like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's profitable.
Yeah. So so you say legalize drugs? Yeah, I did hear they're decriminalizing hard drugs now.
Well, you know, one of the programs that I was involved earlier in my career back in the 90s were the drug courts, and those worked really well. There was a lot of recidivism, but I mean, if you look at how to fix a lot of our problems, is that if somebody is arrested for drug possession, you have an opportunity to treat the addiction and give them their lives back, and they go through the process of getting them their job, getting their ID, getting their kids back. So it makes them feel better about themselves and raise their self-esteem. Yeah, and those programs are terrific. And so I think through budgets, a lot of jurisdictions don't have drug courts anymore. However, those are something that should definitely be brought back to really fix the problem.
I don't think I think this where we're at now came from people going, 3 strikes, just locking up everybody for life. Well, how cruel is that? 3 strikes wasn't really locking up everybody in 3 times in your death row, right? I mean, that's how it sounds like people made it seem.
Right. Yeah. Then we started. I mean, if you build it, you know, they will come. They built a lot of prisons back in the 90s, and you had to fill them up, you know. And so 3 strikes was a way of getting offenders off the street, because there were too many violent offenders on the street, and we had to resolve that issue. And now we're kind of swinging back. Everything's a pendulum. Everything goes back. I was hired in the early 90s to really clean up in the streets, and we did. We hired the best of the best at the time. Really, they law enforcement wanted the core of the middle class, you know, that had that value system. They aggressively went out and they recruited us from colleges, veterans, the veteran community, sports community, and we did a great job. And that culminated in the Black Lives Matter issues, and so now the cycle starts again.
You mean that culminated into like the breaking of windows and all of that?
Yeah, just where we are today. You know, the things that we're dealing with today. So now another generation of cops who now have to clean up.
How the hell could that have been balanced out? I mean, obviously, you got to be insane to think that was cool to break in the windows and all that. But and at the same time, no one reason, unless you're a psycho, and that George Floyd deserved what he got. But after that, there was a lot of things that weren't deserving, and there were times where I was like, well, no.
But it's been going on.
Police are right in that situation.
Yeah.
How could that have been solved to where that didn't have to happen?
Well, that was an inciting incident, and
might happen again though.
Well,
right?
it probably will happen again. And I remember I used to do a lot of the civil unrest stuff and go to the Occupy, Franco Gala Plaza, and all that, and so one of the things I was very curious about, rather than just getting a lot of overtime, was why the Occupy movement. What was behind the Occupy movement? So I started picking up a lot of the flyers, reading the flyers, reading up on it, and reading the language. The language was very kind of communist, if you will, and so. I got very interested in this, listening to the Pacific Radio and those things, is that the reason why the Occupy was not successful is that they had no umbrella organization that brought them together.
Yeah, they had tents.
And yeah, well, it was just like everybody was operating independently, and so with the inciting incident that brought everybody together, is that they kind of hijacked the Black Lives Matter movement. And that created.
They made a corporation out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they made a corporation out of it.
Yeah,
and so that
thing was so weird. It's like.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what happened. And so interesting stuff. The reason why America dismisses so much stuff is we're such a busy society. Until you go to another country, third world country, you realize that a lot of people, they live the same life for their entire lives, but we live. I mean, most people can't even remember what they had for dinner the other night because our lives are so quick.
Yeah. You two remember the Occupy?
I do,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're just, to me, it's like, are there more homeless here? And all of a sudden, like, if it's just more tents.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the BLM did make more of a difference putting things out there, because if they would have chose just tents, I'd have been like,
and then why
wow,
there?
We have a homeless problem.
Yeah, and then why there? I mean, when I think about all the frightening incidents that I had to respond to and do as a police officer, is that the Occupy was very a medieval type of sensation, because I mean
Burning Man, sort of.
Yeah, like a Burning Man. I mean, they would push dumpsters that are on fire at us. They throw gas at us. It was really horrific. And then it just, we did the eviction and it disappeared. And I think that they tried to gain some success in other grounds, but what they really got successful behind was the BLM.
Everything fades away.
Yeah, everything fades away. I came across this interesting thing a couple months ago, and it's this 80-year cycle. You heard this 80-year cycle? It's kind of interesting. So knowing what we know now, what will we do right now? And this is what writers think about. I want to get into that, Luke. I'm here as a writer, not as a retired police officer.
Well, we never talk like this.
Well, that's a treat. You get that with an Irish cop. They gift the gab. It's part of the story. Yeah. So every 80 years. So right now, think about America right now. 80 years ago was World War II. 80 years before that was the Civil War. 80 years before that was the American Revolution. So history just repeats itself. And a lot of people don't know that. But if you look at it and where your generation fits within the 20-year increments between 80 years, you go, wow, man, we are on the brink of either a world war or a civil war. What do we do with that? When history tells us that we're on this trajectory, how do we change our way? I mean, you open up the newspaper and nobody's trying to make America a better place as far as us, everybody getting along, bringing America together. Every day we get further and further apart, And so if you're aware of that history, what do we do? How do we bring everybody together? Can one writer do it? Am I the guy? I want to hear more music and I want to hear you loud. I
think a lot of people disregard. Well, okay. One thing that hit me, I think it was only this year too, recently, about my situation was, I didn't see the conclusion. I didn't see myself getting ran over. I mean, the story, right? I was getting robbed at my car. I was like, huh? What just happened? I ain't gonna put up with this. So I go chase the guys down. Jump in the guy's window, start punching and choking. And I'm thinking, oh my, Iron Man. Or maybe even Jim Morrison. Or the Beatles, 4 man and 1. Who I think I am. I mean, I saw that part. I saw myself doing that. But I didn't see the ending.
No.
I didn't see where it would end. I mean, there's so many conclusions that I could have thought to myself, this isn't going to go well. Like, I could have gotten shot. That could have happened. And I could have seen none of that. I didn't see any of that while it was happening, of the ending result. And like you said, if looking in the papers, seeing certain things from the past, and if we see the conclusions to things, thinking ahead.
Think ahead. I mean, really, think about how many times that happened in the Bay Area that day, and how many. Yeah, every victim. It changes your perspective. I mean, you're a crime victim now. You were a victim of a violent crime.
I would like my loans to be paid off by students.
How much? Yeah, there you go.
Come on.
Now, did it?
I'm proud of them, but let's be. Come on.
Yeah. Are you a different person because of that day? Not only physically, but emotionally. Like you've lost trust in your fellow man. We're talking about police mental health. We talk about something I kind of know a lot about is trauma. How to resolve trauma, and that's one of the things I do as a writer. I'm going to plug that a little bit. Is that I try to create a bridge between the civilian communities to have a better understanding of the veteran community because of some of my experiences in the policing community. And I don't write dark and stormy night stuff. I don't write Black Hawk helicopter stuff, but I do write the emotional journey of police officer and Marine overseas, and a story for everybody. And there's a trauma for everybody, but really is that you were traumatized. And what are you doing? Because a lot of people, a lot of veterans, a lot of police officers, they let their traumas define them. And so what we do in a lot of our training, especially in the veteran community, is we look back at our trauma, and we recognize it, but we don't let it define the rest of our lives. And so a lot of people, when they become victimized, that trauma, because you have suspects out there that don't care about people, have no compassion, no caring. The compassion and caring person, like you said earlier, Luke, is that police officer shows up, followed up on the case, went out and actually time later. I mean, what a wonderful person. I love
How much respect does he get?
Yeah. I love to plug his name and have him on the show.
He said he's not allowed to.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, once again, I have a lot of buttons. Is police officers don't have a First Amendment freedom like we enjoy, and that's kind of the great thing.
And a lot of police probably wouldn't know where I'd be going with it. They'd probably have to.
Well, I remember how you kind of ambushed me the first time I was in here. But now, I mean, it's great for me because I'm retired. I have my First Amendment privilege of free speech, where all cops don't. You surrender that, and now I can talk about it compassionately, caring, my opportunity to educate the public. It's a hearts and mind thing. It's one of the things I want to advocate for. As a writer, I want to advocate for my brothers and sisters in law enforcement and my veteran community, two wonderful communities that are often misunderstood.
Well, I can't even have my own friend on who's a cop and talk about his situation, because it would be going through some kind of, he has to go through his media person, and that's going to be a no. But
that's why you have vocal retirees that can get out there and be the cheerleaders. One of the things that I would identify with, I retired as a sergeant.
You identify with, that's a Bay Area thing.
And I would let my officers know is that we didn't have great spokespeople representing police officers when we were going through all this turmoil with the Black Lives Matter movement. One of the case laws that came down is that when we were looking at the police officers' use of force policies, is that taking some of the money that went towards this and educating the public on what you're supposed to do, which you're legally required to do on a police contact. Okay. Because a police officer is an official, is a public official, is the first public official that you're going to come into contact with. no more a public official than an elected official. They're people of an oath too. And so the citizen is legally obligated to cooperate with the police officer. And so oftentimes it's just out of sheer ignorance is that people don't know that the officer is simply going to arrest you, write a report, submit it to the district attorney's office. The district attorney will decide if the case is going to be filed, and then you'll have your opportunity to go to court and have the evidence evaluated. But people don't realize that. They think court is right there on the curb. And the police officer is the judge and the jury. The only people that are able to administer any type of punishment is a judge and a jury. And so if you took the time in schools to have a class that everybody took on what to do when you are detained by a police officer, none of this stuff would happen. I tell you, most police officers would go to a 28-week academy. You would graduate within 3 weeks. The rest of it's all how to deal with non-compliant people, and so if we had this spirit of handling police and public trust, which is always a pendulum the police departments are trying to win back from the public. Just look at the history. I could tell you the history when I was in law enforcement of winning back the public trust. It would all be resolved if people knew that, okay, the cop stopped me, found this, found that, I have a warrant, I'll go to jail. And not fight the police, not run from the police.
Well, it gets nowhere.
It gets nowhere. But if you take a survey and you ask somebody, what is my legal obligation when detained by police? It's they don't know.
I think two things from that. Yeah. So I think when I was younger, I'd be like, "What the F you want?" That's how I'd be with the police, and then I went through my phase of now I'm gonna be nice to the police, and then I'm gullible, and then the third part is wait, just like the don't love or hate, just gotta be smarter and not trying to pull one over on them. Just like they got their job, I got mine. So when they ask you questions, I do think you do kind of got to think about what you're saying, because I've been asked before, do you do this all the time here? And I'm like, yeah, I do this pretty often, officer. Almost every night, I'm kind of tired, and then you gotta think about, wait, what's he saying? I actually do all the time here, and now you're in trouble. It's like, so yeah, you got their job.
Yeah, I mean, you have to learn about, what is your legal obligation. One of the first reality shows in America and the longest running was Cops. People learned a lot about that, and
even the criminals love that show.
Yeah, they loved it, and most criminals love cops. I mean, I tell you what, I think about the thousands of people that I had interactions with as a police officer and as a sergeant, is that I always left with them knowing, that I never put anybody in jail. I just gave them a ride. They put themselves in jail, and you want to make them be the best versions of themselves.
If you're a good cop,
it's a humanitarian mission.
They probably respect you for at least you're a good person, and like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. What? You did your job.
There's an old saying. It's the good man is the bad man's job, and the bad man is the good man's. Something to that effect. Is that we're each other's job, and it's a mutual respect. We make each other better versions of ourselves, because policing is, and you look at military humanitarian missions or whatever, I've been involved in a few of those, is that it's the same thing, is that you're providing a forum to win the hearts back and help people. It's a humanitarian job in the end.
Yeah, now it's a tug of war.
It's a tug of war now. But it can be very resolved. I mean, the thing is that the police departments, the people who advocate for us are our chiefs. In a lot of cases, is that the rank and file don't represent the they have a different core value than a lot of progressive agendas, and the person in the middle is supposed to be the police chief that advocates and explains. When I was a younger officer, we had tremendous police chiefs that were just pillars of community who would explain police process and crimes to the public, and they would understand. And now the police, because they're at-will employees, really serve at the whim of people who know nothing about policing, and they could fire them at any minute. So it's very difficult.
I've been on the other end of, I think, where people say they get like.
Luke, you started this conversation too. we can leave it at any time.
I think where people say, oh, they get their commission, it must be at a time. I think I've been on the end of that, where it's not like they're getting some extra pay. it's just I've done loss prevention, and then they always say you got to bust more people. It's like maybe they're getting the hint because I'm busting certain people.
Yeah.
And it's still you gotta get more people. You gotta get more people, and so yeah.
Get off the roof, eating lunch, Taco Bell with the girlfriend, and get out there and get some of these shoplifters.
Yeah, I mean that didn't go very well. Yeah, because obviously X still got the ring. Still got the ring. Yeah. So I think with police, it's like just like how I've gotten to know women. But, gotta have a woman here to balance because because you got to. That's how you have respect and learn the opposite ways. Because
very few people know police officers.
Like my friend, I haven't had that many great situations with police, and then like I realized, I actually have a friend that's a cop. I was walking Foster City at a little Leo Ryan Park, and then my friend, hey Luke, and he's such a great guy, like that's a cop, and here I am, like being cool with him. So it's like, because I know him. Imagine if you knew.
If you knew him,
you might not. You'd second guess disrespecting or hating. It's like, I used to disrespect women, and then all of a sudden, boom, I get to know some great women.
And that's one of the encouragements I always told my officers to go, get out, get involved in the community. Coach your kids' teams, go to your kids' school and do stuff, and be a scout leader. And because what happens is that people go, well, that guy or gal is really a decent person. What do they do for a living? Oh, they're a cop, and that's how you win over the public, because 99% of the cops out there are just wonderful people who are called to do it. It's an emotionally based job. It's a very complicated job that Americans have a tendency to really minimize, and it takes years and years to become a really great police officer. Very few of us make it to retirement, and I just love the fact that I'm enjoying a great retirement
and you can't
enriching people.
You can't negotiate with them now. They got the body cams.
Yes.
See?
And that's another thing, Luke, is that, we had the amount of time that we spent investigating frivolous complaints was just unbelievable. And then we had the body cams, and complaints went down 80%. And these are things the public doesn't know. There's a lot of things the cops know that the public is not aware of. But ask a cop, make a friend with the cop. Probably
I don't know if I feel comfortable just saying, hey, I want to be my friend. You might think I'm trying to get out of a ticket or something. But,
I tell you, to my comedian friend over here, probably going to be the funniest people I ever met.
I don't know
Cops.
I feel so. Did you go see the rapper guys afterwards, hang out?
No, I didn't. No, from last show.
Yeah, so I try to make things a little different instead of trying to. I turned into a trying to hook you up show versus. Art Clifford's married, and Andrew he's in love with his music. He's already married there, so I try to switch things up. That was very. It seemed like a matchmaker show.
Yeah, I don't know. They just seem very friendly.
Rappers.
Wow,
I would say all rappers got to be friendly, right? It's a friendly job.
They were very interested.
Yes.
But the other girl was. I think she was actually super interested, maybe. So they were like, we're trying pretty hard with her, but she's kind of seeming like she's not super interested. Let's go for this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I met a lot of good rappers when I was working. They would rap songs about you as police officers. It was awesome. I had some great times with those guys on the street.
That's called NWA. It was with Dr. Dre.
Oh, and they're just copying them, huh? Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't quite know fully what was going on. Even at the end of the show, like the guy was like talking, I want some of that, and I guess he was talking about Dana.
Oh, okay.
I interrupted him all. You want some tacos? Yeah. You want tacos? I thought he was looking at the place across the street. It was over on 21st. Yeah, it was. How was was your experience
With that other show?
Yeah, that was your first.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was
Everyone
a good
has been on
hang.
before.
Yeah, it was a good hang. Yeah, I like to get to know those other people, and they were fun. I guess they make like little like comments here and there, like little flirty comments, but I just sort of brush it off. I don't know.
So nice.
Yeah.
You're not married?
No, but I have a boyfriend.
Huh. I heard you. Yeah. Afterwards, like I heard you were married. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure she's not married.
Yeah, I was single at the time, but yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I could do that for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Because it was
made it all
watching
happen.
the show, and he was like, I have to rescue her from all these guys. I just really want her.
Yeah.
How? Actually, where did that happen? Where did you find this guy?
He's a comedian as well.
Oh,
So
I thought Honiton had a girlfriend.
not
Oh, who's this?
He's great.
Let's exploit him.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how he'll feel about if I am talking about him, but his name's Dan Lewis.
Oh, okay.
He's, do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say.
No,
or
he's the
anything
best.
Great. I just
He's
know
great.
well, no, he seems great.
Yeah.
I just haven't had too much of an experience
Right.
with him. But,
Right. You should
he
have him
seems-
on your show.
Okay, well now I have that
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
No, he seems great from what I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great. Great
but,
comedian.
I feel like I
Yeah.
feel like I need to absorb his energy more.
Oh yeah.
But no, he's no bad vibes.
No, none.
No bad vibes
Zero
there. So
bad vibes.
yeah, no, good
Yeah,
for you.
it's great.
You
Thank
made
you.
it, and wow. So
Yeah,
two comedians, that
caught
works
one.
out pretty well.
Yeah.
'Cause you are quite a catch.
Oh, wow.
After that show, like
you.
we were at the surf lounge.
Mhm, mhm.
I saw you there.
Yes.
And then you were going because the show was over, but trivia was still going on.
Mm-hmm,
So I went in the other room, and then you acknowledged me,
mm-hmm.
and then from that right there, I got attention from guys. So you need someone needed to lock
Really?
this down. Yeah, guys.
Interesting.
You know her?
Whoa.
Just the fact that I know.
That's wild.
No, like-
I don't get any of that. I don't experience any of that.
That's
Strange.
messed. So they're not doing this to your face. when you
No,
holler.
I had no idea.
But
Wow.
yeah, I got
That's
guys that
flattering.
they didn't even ask. Because I've gotten this before. She your girlfriend? and I've had times I would be with a girl and I'd be like, no, we ain't dating. Just to like see if they would make a move, and then I would interrupt. But I don't try to do that too often. That's
No.
rude. But yeah, so a lot of guys came up to me. So yeah, so you need to
Really?
lock.
Jeez.
Good thing a guy locked it down.
Yeah.
And good thing you're not. Do you ever go on the TikTok?
On the TikTok.
On the
no,
TikTok?
I'm
On
not,
the tickety-talk?
I'm not on the not on the
Good,
TikTok
good, 'cause
really.
that is such
I've
a-
thought about it. I've heard it's a good thing to do if you're a comedian and trying to make a name for yourself.
If you go live and you're a woman, it's just a bunch of 360 fit check arch.
Oh.
It seems like whenever there's a woman there, period.
I don't even
that's
know
the
what that
comments.
means.
I found out
Arch?
what it means.
Oh, like arch your back.
It's like arch and then pop one, like. Jeez, they
Yeah.
really get like.
There's a whole language.
And then I like the equal opportunity. Guys are doing it now. I see guys holding signs like, if you want me to arch, give me a galaxy, which means I guess people get paid for this.
A galaxy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like a whole
I guess
world I don't
People
know
pay
about.
for some like galaxy to pop on the screen.
Oh, and then you arch? Huh.
Yeah, and the fit check. I would do a fit check for some money.
Yeah.
What's a fit check?
What's
That's where the person stands up and they
Take your shirt off?
twirl around.
Oh.
Shirt off is something else. That's probably a pop one because
Okay.
which most people don't do.
Just don't ask me to do that.
No,
I might.
I don't
just
have the,
might.
I don't have the money for it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you like
expensive.
pop one of these, I guess. That's
Oh.
Pop, don't do
Pop
it
one
'cause
of
they
these?
get banned. Yeah, like I believe
Oh,
it's
right. You
pop.
Like
pop
like
your
this?
boob
Yeah,
out?
you could do it.
Can your
Doing it
audience
for
see that?
free.
I mean, it's equal opportunity, but mostly the women, which that's why I like when guys. But I'm like, I'm still gonna scroll past you. But I dig seeing it because it's like, gosh, women do get so violent. It was the Iris Benson, you know that comic?
No.
She said this that I've seen scroll on. She said, if anyone comments on a certain post, I'm going to unfriend you. Something about, what do you call a woman that hops from guy to guy? I'm like, really? People really... These are really posts that that groups are posting. And to me, I don't even have a thought.
What do you call a girl to group? Is this a knock knock joke?
Is that something you have on there?
Oh no, I just wrote some notes today about my right. I didn't think we were going to talk all about law enforcement. One of the things that I'm really into right now is for my second book, Barbary Coast. My first book was Typhoon Coast, the Typhoon Coast series. Plug. And
both out.
Yeah. Well, the Typhoon Coast. Well, Typhoon Coast is out. It's done very well. Please Google it. You can read the reviews. It's a treasure hunt book about my an adventure I was involved in the Philippines, and I actually buried a treasure here in San Francisco, $1,000 gold ticket. There's some page 38. There's a little ditty you can read, and if you know about San Francisco history, you can be $1,000 richer. Plenty of information on my website, typhooncoast.com. Please visit it. So one of the things for my second book is that I got into this character that has a transatlantic accent. You know what a transatlantic accent is?
I know it's not trans. I got you.
Yeah. So transatlantic accent is like the accent you heard in like 1930s, 1940s movies. It was an accent that in the Ivy League schools you would learn. So you would sound kind of polished, and they spoke it also in all of our movies. So it was kind of the best. It was like a pidgin language which I used a lot of. Yeah, so I use a lot of pidgin language in Typhoon Coast because of my time in the Philippines. But for my second book is that it's a combination. So it's really interesting. So you go back and you look at old. So I use a lot of the old language from the 1940s about girls that hop around. I think I have one here.
Oh wow, you were getting total author storyteller.
I was like, oh, let me.
I thought we were veering off topic.
Yeah. Oh no. I could find them, but
I feel like at my age. And at all our ages here, I mean, we're old enough to where it's like, guys still really talk like this. I mean,
yeah, well, it's an evolving language, and being an author, it's really important, to convey information in dialogue, and make the dialogue really count. I just I was kind of on the volunteer staff for the San Francisco Writers Conference a couple months ago, and which is great for any writers out there. Feel free to get a hold of me through my website too. It's a great thing. It's here. It's local. It was the Hyatt Regency, and it's very educational. They talk a lot about setting and character, and language is super important to preserve language and to use it so it can convey your character's story. Another thing that I do is I'm on the board for California Writers Club, and what I do is I book our monthly speakers, which I was like, how does Luke come up with booking people? I got a text from him like at 9 o'clock last night.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to leave a little bit early.
I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear if you and your boyfriend were competing. Comics.
No, not competing. He's been doing it longer than I have.
Okay.
He just won the East Bay Comedy Competition, and he's gonna do his first feature. I guess I'm plugging him now. His first feature, like 30-minute show at Alameda Comedy Club. I don't know. I do like Best of SF on Fridays, and I do. I'm in a play. I'm going to be in a play on murder. It's called Murder on the Nile at Coastal Rep.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I have to leave.
See that.
Yeah, but
you got that look.
I definitely.
Thank you.
I had a lot of comedy questions too.
Yeah, no, I'd love to keep chatting with all
Are
of
they
you.
quick?
Well, it's kind of. I wanted to know if you were like the type of comedy that you do. Do you observe stuff? I took Bart over here today, and I was kind of caught up in one of their posters. It was definitely a subliminal advertisement.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show it to you, and if you thought it was equally,
man.
Do you have it?
I took some pictures of it. So here I am. I'm sitting I'm sitting down on the BART train coming over here, and being very cognizant of letting an elderly person or a pregnant
Dude,
person
it's
have my
way
seat.
better than muting.
And so there's this. So everybody knows what subliminal advertisement is. It's like back in the day, they used to put they put little blurbs on advertisements at the movie theaters, like drink Coke, so people go, I'm feeling kind of thirsty, and so they made it illegal. So I see this BART sign that says taking BART somewhere every day for 1 month emits less CO2 than driving there once. So it's a little plug, and there's this picture of the United States, North America. And what do you see in that? What do you see in that picture?
I kind of want to take this.
Does it look right to you? What jumps out at you as a comedian?
It looks like a woman on her.
It looks like
about she's gonna take it from behind.
Take it from behind. Look at this. It just jumps right out at me. I go, are you effing kidding me? This is so obvious. And so here you go. Yeah, I am she's quick.
Well, maybe you primed me for it. I don't know.
Okay, no. And so here I blew it up a little bit, and I go, holy Toledo, that is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at
I
this.
wonder what that
I
is.
took some candid photos of you, and I just want to leave it there. That looks
great.
And this is what it's supposed to. That looks nothing like a woman on all fours, Lake Erie.
That's supposed to be a bunch of lakes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I would know because I'd become better
Is
at
that
all
hilarious?
fours.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm glad that I have my sense of humor.
Because all fours is doggy style, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you saw it. Look at this.
I'd become better at that.
They should take that down.
I never wanted to do that before because I feel like, okay, now I'm getting just the pleasure, and the woman, I just felt like the woman's getting less pleasure from the doggy style. How do you and Dan feel?
Well, you can also help out as a woman. You can help out the situation by
Yet the woman has to touch herself.
Yeah,
so
right.
You have to do more work.
That's how most things go. I think it always has to be in that area.
In that area.
Happening. Yeah, something has to be happening in that area.
So from a comedian's point of view, is sex funny or is it extremely serious?
It can no.
It's just serious.
It's just it's super serious.
Yes.
No, it can be.
If it was funny, they would have called it facts, and it's sex.
Really
It's serious.
funny.
Yes.
Oh wow! Thank you.
I mean,
That's really
I
nice.
think you made Honiton's open mics seem like showcases.
Oh my gosh, that's such a compliment. Thank you. Wow.
From the
That's
few
really
I've
nice.
seen.
Aw.
But they're open
shucks.
mics.
Yeah.
You don't expect, because I don't go in judging I will go in judging a showcase, and because that's what you should do as a guest. As an audience member, you should feel like you paid for it. But as an open mic, I was sitting there it's just an open mic, and I was like, dang, he's got quite a lineup, and then you led it real good.
Oh, thank you so much. You're too kind.
Well, so I guess we're
You have a
listening
web
here.
page, so
Yeah. Oh, I have an
Andre's gonna get
Instagram.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Stringer beanie with the beanie, the hat.
okay.
My last name's Stringer beanie.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Luke.
Yeah,
I'd
thanks.
love to do it again anytime.
Thanks. Hell yeah. You know where I am.
Yes.
But usually Mondays.
Okay, cool.
And then
Amy, I'm glad you found that funny.
Yes.
So I thought it was just
no,
me.
that was good.
And you
That was
picked up
good.
on
It's
it.
weird that they put only those lakes
Yeah.
on the whole continent.
That is subliminal advertisement.
If
Being green is now very sexual.
if
They
there's anything
sexualize
you can
being
take from
green.
This show is
Yeah.
weird.
Yes.
Lizzo or Aries Spears.
Lizzo Aries Spears.
Or Aries Spears. We're supposed to talk about this kind of stuff as a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going for Lizzo or
Lizzo?
Aries Spears?
I would say Lizzo. I don't know what the whole thing is.
Me neither.
Oh, okay.
I just know everyone. Certain things I don't try to look into because I'm like, this is better just to bring up as a title all the time to everybody. Just bring up the title and make it a versus instead of actually seeing why. I would say Lizzo because also Aries Spears, I met him.
Oh, okay. I have no opinion on him.
You should come Comedy Day. He might be there.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And what he will be doing is walking through the crowd saying, I don't know why I'm effing here. I effing hate all you people. How much is my effing set? I'm probably going to do only 10, 15 out of this half hour. You're only paying me too effing much to do this, You're only paying me enough, and then he's the one guy complaining.
Oh, Ken.
You gotta be
The Ken.
Yeah,
Ken.
The Ken. We learned about Ken
Yeah.
today.
You gotta be
The
not
male
just
Karen for everybody who wasn't
body
in on
positive,
that.
but personality positive.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye,
Well, thanks for
everyone.
coming.
It's very nice meeting you.
Great to meet you.
Take care.
Good to
Take care.
see you all again.
Well, that leaves the music.
The
we were talking
music.
about the Ken is like who
The
did you
the
Google
male
that?
the male Karen is the Ken. So I have a question because I
Yeah.
want to hear more of your music.
now
It's wonderful.
Guys, no-
So my 16-year-old son is I'm like I retired and I became his best butler. You know, this kid has the best butler. I mean, I just do everything for this kid. He's going through. He's learning his license. So I'm the passenger seat as he drives to school every day. And so this morning, Freebird comes on, and so I'm all like playing air guitars.
Yeah.
I do play the canjo. You know what the canjo is? But no.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, nobody.
No,
knows.
it's this.
It's pretty much.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
it's a can, and it's got one string that goes down
Okay,
the neck.
that's not
And
what
so,
I was thinking. Okay.
and so I go, hey Quinn, that's my son. I go, you guys play air guitar still? And he goes, I don't even know what that is, Dad. So we've lost air guitar. There's no air guitar element in our youth. We got to bring it back to the youth.
I don't know if that's bad to lose a fictional guitar. I mean,
Do you remember air guitar? Air guitar was huge.
But that was like the 80s when
It was like the 80s.
I have metal guitars that play like really, really fast and
Yeah.
stuff. But there's not a lot of that in the music, so it wouldn't make sense in today's
Yeah.
society, you know?
I don't want to take that. It's
Air guitar used to be huge.
Yeah.
just like just like I saw a comedian post earlier saying the real MVP is the comedians that bowed out because they weren't funny. That's what I did. I mean, it's like I should do with that's what the air guitar people are probably doing. They should
Yeah.
bow out because they're probably air guitaring because they're not good at
Because they're
guitar.
not real guitars. So
Go
yeah,
play
maybe
that
that was the
video game.
big divide. They were like, you know what? Yeah, we got real guitar players now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to see the real guitar player. Like I want to see the real guitar player.
He's actually got a guitar. You don't even have to do all this these days. See, but this is what I want on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
I want someone who's like, look, all right, let me plug all this and plug all this and plug on, and then you're really not playing a guitar anymore.
Where could we go see you play, Andre? There's
I have a concert coming up in about 2 months in Oakland. I'll be playing with a clarinet player.
okay.
Yeah, she's like a virtuoso. She's really good.
Mm.
And we're playing a lot of really interesting music, playing a lot of tango music and a lot of music from Romania.
Right,
So
right.
a lot of interesting music. We're playing some Debussy, and so it should be a really good concert.
Right. And where's that going to be?
I don't know exactly. It's going to be in Recital Hall in Oakland. It's at a music school. She has to set the time because she
Yeah.
works there. So we haven't like actually booked it yet, but it's going to be in about
Right.
2 months.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
2 months, that's enough time
Yeah.
to try to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which reminds me why I hate my job. I mean,
Should retire. I recommend it.
I would like to. I'm just not very good with taking hints from people, I guess, and following through like the guidance. Maybe never having a father in my life, but that's why maybe I'm trying to meet him to rub shoulders on a little privilege, seeing what I could maybe learn. He said, hey, I got this job and they're telling us all these paid days off. So I'm like, you know what? I also saw some inspirational quotes recently talking about take those days because you're a better worker, because you'll
Yeah.
be happier on the job. And then so I go and try and take those days. And then I look at my schedule. I'm like, something's wrong with my schedule. I'm trying to take those paid days so I can be happier at work.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, got paid actually not to be here. Now I'm happier. But then they said I have to work it because I gotta support I gotta support them. I gotta work there that day. Like, I took these days off. You want me to be like the other people and just call off? Like,
I tell you what, that's true. Retirement is something you gotta have to prepare yourself for, especially when you retire young, like professional athletes and a lot of law enforcement officers. And a friend of mine retired from a fire department. I go, so what are you gonna do now? And he goes, you know what? I probably have 20 more good summers with my kids. It's time to just enjoy
it must be
your
beautiful.
loved ones. Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. A lot of times I wonder if I have to, because I guess I'm always told we have the best benefits. we must, because like I had this happen to me. I got ran over, and I still see the bills coming, even though some of the stuff was paid off. It's like, and you still got so much to pay for. So dang, I guess you must need really good benefits.
You need good benefits.
It's like, geez, I could go for a little loan forgiveness. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing. I mean, that's what's happening right now. The whole thing. I'm just like, I mean, it's just we just work so much in society.
We do. I mean, we're Americans, and I tell you what, when your work is over, it's like you kind of have to reinvent yourself. You know, I mean, I can't believe that there are people out there is that they're going to work until they're 65, 75 years old. You know, and then they've saved up all that time and all that money for retirement that they can't even enjoy.
And we're tied down to it, yeah. Because
also,
you know, I mean, I got other sides. You know, I realized I never had a job before where I actually liked my hours cut, because I'll do the Uber Eats on the side. But you really got to please people. I got my ratings go down, but sometimes I make a lot more than I worked on my other job.
Yeah.
But it's like I really got to please people. You know, the one guy was like, looks like you're upstairs. He looks on the app. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm still downstairs. I'm looking at your number. Never went up any stairs. So, you know how I'm in crutches, right? It's like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to deliver your food, man.
Now you know what it's like to be a cop. It's that you always,
Yeah.
you got people are always complaining. Got to be a people pleaser. Got to know how to please people.
I mean, that guy opened his bag. He's like, "Where's my brownie?" I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't say anything about a brownie here." Like, you're lucky. Even it tells me what you got. Sometimes, depending on how you order, it's just gonna give me some kind of order number. You know, but then I noticed when I left, my rating went down. I'm like, come on, man. I can't. I saw the number here. And plus, it's even. He kept saying, where are you? I'm looking outside. Looks like you're upstairs. Like, I don't know. I'm hearing your voice as if you're yelling in my ear. And then it turns out like he opened the door, and he was actually sitting on the couch right by the door I was next to. I guess it was actually the back door, but it had his number and all that. You know.
Well, I tell you, even I remember. You know, when I published my book and I went on Amazon, I was reading the reviews, and I go, "Oh man, people get it." You know, it was a uniquely written book, and then you have like maybe out of all my reviews, I'll have one or two negatives. I mean, it's still like a 5-star book, but I go, so this person who reviews my book anonymously went out, bought my book, read my book, and then had the audacity to leave very general negative review. And so so I called my publisher, kind of freaked out when I first saw my first one, and he goes, "Oh, Mark, now you know that you are a professional author. Is it some jerk, probably a jealous writer, you know, that was trying to bring your rating down? You know, is it people are out there? They're always going to leave negative
Probably
stuff.
one of those little froofy philosopher types.
Yeah.
Those guys get too deep.
Yeah.
And they find something.
They find something. You know, I mean, it's a lot of, you know, from a writer's perspective, you know, there is a survey, 81% of all American surveys said they have a story within them that they want to write. And less than 1% of those people actually write that book, bring it to publishing, and publish it and market it. You know, very few people do it. And so you have a lot of people who are out there that are just very critical of people who had the audacity to write a book.
Hey,
Which there are so many books now. I mean, I think last year 4 million books were published, and out of those, I think 60 made the bestsellers list. So nobody's making a tremendous amount of money in writing, but I've been very fortunate, very, very, very
Are you
fortunate.
on the Kindle?
Yeah, it's on the Kindle. I'm going to go audio. I mean, you can find out more at
I don't do
at
the
my
Kindle,
website.
but like I just want more of you writers to be on other outlets than just being in the bookstores and all that.
Yeah.
I want you to be everywhere.
I do, you know, and I like partnering with bookstores and other businesses, coffee shops, and I'll go to book signings, and it's just fun to get out there and meet the public. It gives me a little bit. I mean, people wouldn't, you know, you probably wouldn't realize this, but you know, being a police officer, especially like a sergeant with a bunch of years of service on your sleeve, you're a bit of a celebrity when you're out getting coffee. People want to talk to you.
When you're out getting coffee.
People like to talk to you, and it's really nice to engage the public. And you know, being a writer kind of gives me that little, you know, a bit of that little momentary prestige again, where you get out and plug your book, sign your books. It's just kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I've always been a people person. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm. Yeah, I don't know what made me not a people person really. But people think I'm a people person, but I'm very selective in that area. I think because I don't want the toxic vibes coming my way.
well, people are either introverts or extroverts. I was
both.
I was one of 7 kids, so I was like
Ooh, yeah.
was really always struggling for some attention. You can ask all my teachers that too, I'm sure. So I've always been a real extrovert. Somebody who loves the company of other people. Writing is a very solitude, type of thing. When I write, I try to write every day. As I write, I also try to pick a fight with somebody on next door. So I'm fighting with
There
people
you go.
and
You
writing
probably
with
run
people.
across my mom.
And so it's a lot of fun. But it kind of also being a fiction writer, it kind of gives me the things that I felt very fulfilled with as a police officer is what's going to happen next. A police officer, you live a lifetime in a shift and you don't know what's going to happen next. You'd be drinking a cup of coffee and boom, you're off to some exciting adventure, some tragedy or what have you. But writing does that too. It's like what's going to happen next. So it makes you a very good writer. You can create this tension and anxiety in your writing that intrigues your reader to make them want them to go to the place.
Like, I like being in atmospheres of
Yeah.
people.
Well,
But I'm sort of the background guy, just kind of feeling out there. But I do feel comfortable in my own skin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I feel comfortable being around in like a group of people. So maybe that's my thing. I gotta like feel out the vibe.
Oh, you just got to drink more in a public setting. Just
You know what?
It makes you
gonna try
social.
I'm just gonna try.
once
that.
again, I'm not a doctor, Luke, like I told you earlier.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, it'll be in a situation where I'll either not drive or forget where my car was.
Exactly.
That's why sometimes I'll park and.
But you
and
had
I
but you
might
had
figure
fun
out-
talking with the people.
But I'll write down like the street somewhere that I can't remember when I'm drinking. That's all. And then when I'm sober, like wait, that's where I was. Oh yeah, Andre got some songs for
Sure,
us,
yeah.
huh?
No, yeah.
Wonderful song.
Boy, you did a great performance last time and didn't really give you justice. This is where it's gonna be, the justice.
Okay.
We've been talking about justice.
We have.
So, boy, you must have hated the VMAs, huh?
I didn't watch it. When were they?
I believe it was Sunny. Yeah, why would someone like you with such talent watch the VMAs? Besides maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were there.
Oh, they're a great band.
Yeah.
If they're going to be performing, I would have watched it.
Yeah,
How do you
you
know
probably
that?
go on demand and find it again. But besides,
It's look on YouTube. They probably have a
Oh,
selected
yeah.
version of it out. So.
besides them, it just sucked. Like, yeah.
Who won? Who were the big winners? Or what's going on?
Nicki Minaj was a big
Okay.
winner, and it's
Alright.
like I realized how little talent she had. I don't know, she could do the rapping, but like I want to if you're trying to dance, also, I'm gonna expect you to really dance because I watch a lot of oldies groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're just like assing there or sitting there and just
yeah.
doing like a gyrating thing, that's not to me. That's not dance. I mean that maybe took a little effort from me, but
Yeah.
I expect a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no guitar, so like
Alright.
so no talent there like you got right now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You got the talent. Here, check this guy
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Want to do some songs for
Sure.
us?
I'll play a Brazilian song. It's by
Oh.
Villa-Lobos called Church Number 1.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
I tell you, you know what? It's
I
just
was waiting to clap.
I just love watching an artist at work. I mean, you know, it's just that nobody considers writers artists. You know, it's not, but because you're, I mean, just like trying to create, and creating is very hectic, and you're just like in this flow, this oneness with the guitar. It was just amazing, just to wonder where, you know, how you were just together in that song. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone like as much like him before.
Well, I mean, it's really it's a pleasure to watch an artist, and every art is different. You know, it just watch them in their flow. You know, and a painter's different than a musician. In a musician, a drummer's flow is different than a guitarist. And from a writer's perspective, a poet is different than somebody who's creating place like a fiction writer. You know, some of it is art is a struggle like life, and some of art is just like an amazing pleasure of oneness in being present. I mean, you looked so amazingly present in your instrument, where, you know, my art form is just like you're trying to grab on and wait for inspiration to come in. It's very chaotic, trying to bring order to chaos. It's wonderful.
Well, we were talking
Thank you so
about
much.
this, and it was apparent to me from the way we're talking. I think we were talking about religion even last time, trying to get a little controversial.
Yeah.
Music is his religion. Sounds like music is, well, it's your passion, so it is all you.
Yeah.
Like that's your suit of armor is music.
How long you been playing?
Respect that.
Tell us a little story about your story.
Well, I started when I was 13, so I'm 37, so, you know,
You've been at it
25 years,
with this instrument.
No, actually I started on rock guitar. I started because of Nirvana. I heard Nirvana when I was 13, and I wanted to, that's something what really made me want to play. So I played I played acoustic guitar, I had electric guitar, but then in high school I really got into classical music. And then, but I was more into piano and composing. I went to like orchestral music, but then freshman year in college, I went to study composition. But then I started playing classical guitar, and that just kind of made my interest.
It is. I mean, I've always been a frustrated person who wanted to be a musician, and you know, my kids always they'll buy me something different every like Christmas that kind of lends to that passion that's never been fulfilled. And so I have a cajon. You know what cajon is? It's a little box you sit on that has a bit of a percussion instrument. So I have that around the house. I fold my clothes on and put it on. Then I have the canjo that I told you about. Then I have a Navajo wind flute, which I really enjoy playing.
Okay.
And a foot tambourine.
Okay.
Put it all together, I can really entertain people for like 5 minutes. Like an amazing rendition, an amazing grace. But yeah, I just.
But it's very easy to learn. You just have to do it like every day. You have to give it time. If
Yeah.
You just, a lot of people when they start, especially when they start older, they think that it's like learning languages. They think if they don't do it immediately, that it's bad. Then there's something wrong. You know, people say that kids learn faster. They don't, because I also teach. Kids don't learn faster at all. You know, you're not gonna be happy seeing a kid fly an airplane.
Right.
If you go on a plane, and the pilot's a kid, you'd be like, what? but if they play someone behind, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do that. I can't. I'm an adult. You know. It's just that kids, they don't care. They don't have all this baggage built up. They're just whatever. You're like, this is the moment. I'm doing this. So I think people, if you just have to do like every day, because I spend a lot of time practicing. I do it every day. I have things I do every day. You know, and that's what kind of builds it up. So if you want to learn, you should really. It's a lot of fun. You just do like every day.
Yeah.
And seek lessons. So if you want to learn influence, this is the Bay Area. You can find anybody. You know, and then there's also online. You can find anybody in the world. So if you do research, you can find somebody to teach you anything you want.
Yeah. And artist needs to be supported too by their family and friends and loved ones too.
Yeah.
Encouraged.
Yeah, because if it's not, sometimes your head gets all cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get some more songs,
Yeah,
how about
sure.
4 more? You can
Okay.
really soak it in.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to do a piece by Bach.
And I'll air guitar it right next to you.
And you're not talking about Sebastian Bach. You're talking about Skid Row.
Yeah.
So this is from his first a cello suite. It's arranged for guitar. It's the prelude.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's still a little string there. I thought it was still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really something. It reminds me of like being in the mountains of Mexico or something. Just very resonant of those places.
Yeah.
Really, really great. Where's your mind when you're playing this? Where are you?
Well, I mean,
You're not in this dungeon of a studio.
Yeah, I've had dominatrix. I was a little nervous.
I try to think about the rhythm and like the chord progressions and like the theory and what happens, but it's more just being in the moment. It's like if you're surfing, you never surf, but you just like on a wave, just in the moment. You know, just kind of taking with the moment.
So do you write songs too?
I used to.
Yeah.
Not recently.
So I mean, what I like to discuss as fellow artists is just is writing. You know, is it coming up with something original? It's like when you're coming up with a book or a story or a song, you know, you're constantly shifting things around and trying to like find the best word, and for you be finding the best note. Tell me a little bit about your writing process. You know, when you were writing.
When I was writing music.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mostly I wrote some popular music, but I also wrote classical music, and I would just for me, what it was like, I usually wrote at the piano, and like I would feel like if I get an idea, I'll feel like I just hit it. Like to me, every piece of music is like its own world or universe, like a movie or a novel. It's its own little universe. So sometimes I feel like I'll play a chord progression, then I'll hit on something. Then I was like, wait a minute, I just imagine a world. So when I was composing, I didn't feel like I was composing. It's more like I was trying to figure out piece by piece what this world is, and then like a composition would just let itself be known. It's finished.
You know what? That's how a writer would talk too. Is it's like, you know, people would say, you know what, that's a great piece you wrote. Well, you know what? It's all the experiences and the people that I knew that kind of brought them together. And I was just waiting for them to come together in the right rhythm, you know, to create it. And of course, you work with, I work with editors and beta groups and beta readers and stuff. But like for me is that I know that even if it's the first draft of a book or a short story, what have you, I know that it's probably not going to be its best until maybe the 10th version. Okay. You know, so how about for a song too? How many times do you think you would change that song before you go, okay, like you said, the world came together for it?
It really depends. I mean, I was not like a fast writer. Some people can write really, really fast. I was not like that. I think the first song I wrote is actually maybe one of my best. I wrote like 2 hours, but that's very unusual for me. Usually it takes. It can take months, because if I'm trying to write something really long and orchestral, it can take months. I don't know. I just kind of also took lessons for composition, so I had a teacher who would kind of like shorten this phrase, expand this phrase, give me ideas to consider. And I don't know. I just do it, and either I stop working on it because something else, or I just finish it and just like it's done.
You know, I have, this reminded me of something relatively recent, is that in my retirement, I do veteran outreach. Zach Brown, the country music guy, he's got a not-for-profit.
Zach Brown Band.
Yeah, Zach Brown Band. He's got a not-for-profit in a place called Fayetteville, which is outside of Atlanta. It's called Camp Southern Ground. I've been back there for they call it Warrior Week. That helps veterans transition from the military into civilian life. Great program, very rewarding. God bless Zach Brown. And then also a Warrior Path, which helps veterans and first responders deal with their traumas. And so the part of each of the packages is writing a song. And so the first time we did it, it was so rewarding, okay? And the second time we did it, it was actually a really good song. And if you go on my website, I've written a little bit about it. It's called The Ballad of the Crossroads by Mark R. Clifford. And so I wrote about the experience. And so this experienced Nashville songwriter came in. I mentioned his name in the article. And we sat down, and within 2 hours, we came up with this amazing song, country music song, that you can listen to, but it's based upon all of our stories. So it's 7 guys who go around, we tell them all about our traumas, and he put together this wonderful song, you know. And I think that's why I'm just enjoying watching you, because it was such an enjoyable part of my life to create that song in a matter of 2 hours. And it's a song that's unbelievably special to the veterans and the first responders that went through this program. Thousands of people have gone through this program. It's a very popular program amongst the veteran community. But yeah, creating a song, I don't want to sell my art form down the river, but creating a song was just an amazing experience, especially if you're not musical. I mean, I really have a tremendous amount of respect for people who go and they create songs for a living, and are able to just put the components of people's something that they kept secret a week ago, a week earlier, into a passionate song. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about it, feel free to check out that on my website. But music, because I will never be a musician. I don't think I'll.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean,
do you want to play music?
I do, but there's only so much time in the day. I got to write these gosh darn books. But I just love. I grew up in a musical family. Most of them are pianists. Like I said, I came from a very large Irish Catholic family, and we had a baby grand in our front room. And my brother got really good at it. My mom's a wonderful pianist to this day, and it's just one of the memories that I cherish the most. Growing up in a big family is my mom playing the piano every night. It was just wonderful. Yeah, terrific.
Yeah, if only. Well, we had a piano. If only we had a piano at this place. But, you know, we could work on that.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We could have you in. You could both come in, dude. See what you could both do together.
I'll bring you my canjo.
Yeah. We got a couple more songs.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know about time, but I think a couple more songs.
Yeah. Play us out of here.
Okay. So this next one, it's called Recuerdos de la Alhambra, and it's written for a castle in Spain that was built by the Moors, and it has fountains everywhere. So there's a technique called tremolo, where you play really fast with the notes, and then the thumb plays the bass part, supposed to depict all these fountains.
Beautiful.
So the fountain song. So.
Bravo. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I didn't have to really guess Mark or Clifford. I just said the R for the social media.
Thank you.
You got the Zach Brown.
I do, yeah.
Sure.
I wrote that. Right there.
I don't know why I've seen that this whole time, but I just made that. But I knew who you were talking about because, you brought them up before. Very
Good
band.
Yeah, great band, great foundation, helps a lot of people out. The Warrior Week and Warrior Path program are just wonderful programs, giving veterans and first responders their life back. So,
Shoot, we've only been an hour and not even an hour and a half, right?
1:28.
Shoot, I guess that's what helps not looking at the time because I usually kill time easily when I'm not looking at it, and then I just realize, okay, when I have to shut things off on my own, I go, okay, I shut things off, all right, and then as if this was the keyboard thing.
yeah.
What I do? See, I gotta remember now. Well, last place I scrolled, everything was broken though. So let's think of the place before that, which is this place. With the other room. Mark
The
had
other
it right
room.
up. He said, "What? Were you the one that said what room this time?"
Yeah.
I actually had him in the.
Let's spin the wheel of misfortune and
Yes.
find out what we have going on.
Indeed.
Just walked in. Yeah, it's funny. I actually had him in the conference room last time.
Yeah.
That's how much I'm not a quitter. But he was on the calendar, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give this up. And so I put him in the.
It's better
conference
than
room.
being had on the conference room table
Indeed.
than on the calendar.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yes.
Paul. I
Whoa,
mean,
whoa, whoa,
now that
hey,
you're-
I had to have a safe word on that.
well, now that
appearance.
you're in here, so Paul, you had your throne every once a month. You had a throne here.
Oh yeah, here. Yeah. I was
Conference
usually
room.
at the end of the table. Yeah. So somebody can point and click at me
It
and
was a-
fill in holes where I
Well, it
needed
was a
to.
separate throne. It was like your throne was on the wall, I believe.
Oh, you mean the actual throne?
Wait,
Yeah, they
yeah.
had the big old throne.
Yeah,
in
we
the
had a
meeting-
throne
in the
here.
meeting. Yeah, there was a throne. There was for the what do we want to call that? We don't want to call it a secret society.
They were just
I
constant.
feel like we were like a national
Not
treasure or something, the Masons or something.
It had a normal meeting word. Wait, it was just a meeting, wasn't it?
For the Odds Fellows? Are they still?
No, it was
I know they're
stationed.
still around.
It was
Okay.
actually stationed, but we used the Oddfellows meeting room because they were so gracious to let us use it.
Pete
Right.
Sellers, though, great guy. He's
Right.
I could use his name because we've gotten to know each other personally. Yeah.
And he's named you personally in the indictment, so why not? So
Paul, you have a wonderful speaking voice.
I'm
too.
honored.
Did you do a professional announcing?
this is it.
You know what?
This is my gig.
I
right
tell you,
here.
let me share a 2-minute story here. When I was doing the veteran outreach with Zach Brown at Warrior Week, there was this veteran over in the corner, and he was complaining the whole time.
Right.
Big guy, complained, just complain. And I was one of the supposed to be a mentor, help encourage and motivate these guys. And I said to this guy, I go, man, you are the biggest complainer, but you have the silkiest voice I ever heard. What you should do is probably start a podcast when you get home. And he did. I mean, because the resonance of his voice was so attractive. I mean, it's like your voice is just like people just they perk up to it.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a choice. It was this or strip club announcement.
You tried that one.
Gentlemen, put your hands together. Get your dollar bills for cinnamon.
Too much happiness.
Cinnamon.
Too much happiness
You
right
tried
there.
that one.
Too much happiness in one spot.
Didn't you try that at one of the? It was Century, right? You tried
Oh, yes. I'm a jack of all trade, master of none. I'm
Yeah,
actually a
same
writer
here.
and stand-up comedian.
I like it. Right?
And so,
Same.
also DJ, on-air host, and been DJ at clubs. And yes, I did a small stint at the Condor.
The Condor, okay.
The Condor.
Yeah.
What a great history. In fact,
I've done coke there.
in my book, I write about the Condor Club in the beginning. You know, when I introduce my characters when they're young. Did you grow up in the Bay Area, San
Yes.
Francisco?
Born and bred.
Yeah, so you
And breed.
Yeah, so yeah, same. And so you probably remember that area back in the 80s and stuff, and
Yeah.
all the Barkers out there when it
Absolutely.
was really go time. And there's actually a very famous person that was a stripper.
Carol
Carol
Doda.
Doda, the perfect 36.
her
The
pictures
perfect 36.
Yeah, and
There
so
you go.
Better, but there are pictures up over there.
Yeah, and so one of the and so I kind of actually write about her in the book too. One of my claims to fame when I was a cop, I had a found properties case, and it was somebody burglarized her house and had a bunch of her stuff. So I got to speak.
You were
with
the
her
one who
real quick.
returned the silicone.
Yes, I got to talk to her
No,
about
she
it.
was all natural. She was real natural.
But
so.
there was actually a very famous
Oh, good,
death in the Condor Club.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Let's see how well you know this.
Oh, I
So-
know it.
So, who died?
It was one of the Barkers, and I don't know him by name.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
thought it was one of the old owners. And so, how did it happen? Or wait, what were they doing
So
when it happened?
What they were doing, so in the Condor Club, I don't know if they still have it. They had this white baby grand piano.
Yes,
that
they do.
That would be lowered on cables, and the stripper would come down out of the ceiling, and
Yeah.
she would do her thing.
Yeah.
I'd never been there, but a friend of mine told me
knows
about
the
it.
story.
And so
I love
and so
this.
one night, one of the bouncer Barker guys was in Congress with one of the I guess they would call them female sex workers nowadays.
We call them senders if
Yeah,
they're in Congress.
exactly.
Oh, I'm
And they're-
sorry.
on escort.
And they're
right?
doing
Yeah,
they're
escort.
doing the
waka,
nasty
waka, waka.
the nasty on top of this grand piano, and somebody's foot hits the lever which retracts the piano back up into the ceiling, and the guy was apparently pretty large, and so he gets crushed to death. But the stripper, who may still be alive today, survived, and it's very well publicized. You can Google it.
Yeah, he actually had a stage name, Splats Domino. Splats Domino. Splats Domino. And so he was
Well hung,
it
well
was,
squished.
It was Fats Domino, then it was Splats Domino after that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
True
so
story.
I guess everybody hears a slightly different version of it. So
Okay,
yeah,
I
mine
like
was more dramatic that the piano dropped, but they still, yes, it is still suspended. And matter of fact, that's where they would have all the ladies at the end of the evening wait to get walked out to their cars or whatever
Yeah.
at the end, and then also the DJ to get paid
Wow.
to get tipped out from the girls.
Wow.
So I would sit and I'd be looking up at this piano, and I was always told, "Oh, it had fell on them," and I'm like, "Oh, well, they were having
Yeah.
right." So, and I'm like, "It looks pretty good for a piano." Well, it landed on them. Oh, okay. People are soft.
The stories that kind of get retold and passed on.
Yeah, and
But
I was told it was an owner, not a barker. See?
you could probably Google it and find out the
Yeah.
police report. And,
Well,
but yeah, it's
police report.
fascinating story, fascinating time too. That was back, before the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989. The Broadway exit would dump you off right there. And
Right there,
So
right
when
there.
we were youngsters, you're probably a little bit older.
Yeah,
than
you
me.
actually, it would actually go down the wharf.
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah. You go down the wharf, and they had the Embarcadero up there, and that's where we would hang out as kids. And I tell you, we would go to the Palladium, and we would try to get into those nightclubs. And I tell you what, back then, I mean, that you'd be able to get in if you were 16 or 18.
Well, you would walk in, and before they didn't really have the security. You'd almost walk in before they'd walk you back out.
And if you had your first beer there, you go, and then you got a beer later on in life, you say, "Wow, that beer sure was watered down." They watered down those beers. And those.
There's a one club right down there in North Beach, right by Broadway in Columbus, that was the first watering hole, like in North America or something, and they used to have beer in troughs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which one that is, but it's on opposite side of the continent.
I tell you, as a writer, I love writing about old San Francisco.
Little
San
Darlings.
Francisco, yeah.
Little Darlings. You're talking about opposite, like around or opposite being.
Kind of kitty
you got-
corner,
you got
kind of the same
Vesuvius.
size
The
as
Hustler
City
Club
Lights.
back door is.
Oh, so you got
Garden of
Vesuvius.
Eden. Garden of Eden.
Well, or
No,
Vesuvius.
but I'm actually talking on Columbus, not Broadway.
Vesuvius. Vesuvius, which is
No,
Jack Kerouac's bar that he used to hang
I
out
think
at.
so, but it's literally, I think it's across from Mr. Bing's.
Okay.
So
I'd
it's
have to go down and
down.
look. But what a great
Hustler
history.
Club.
There's a lot of, it's not one of the strip clubs, but
Okay.
you're right.
gosh,
San
you
Francisco
threw me
is
off
rich
there.
with history.
Oh, it's rich with history. In fact, my second book, to plug it again, is it's called Barbary Coast, and what I do is I really resurrect the old Barbary Coast history of San Francisco and meet and blend it in with today's stuff. People say San Francisco is a crazy city. It's always been a crazy city.
Yeah.
The players
It's
just change.
Yeah, it just
It's
needs
pretty
some
nuts now.
organizing.
Yeah, but it's
That's
always been. It's always how.
Yeah, because even when I
crazy
loved
this
it back in the
goes.
day, when I could say I love it and I didn't get ran over here,
Yeah.
I would say it was crazy, but I liked the crazy. I
Yeah.
always called it lower level Vegas.
Yeah.
Or like an underground Vegas, because you can't see all the great stuff right there. You kind of gotta get into it, and then you're like, wow, all these
I love it.
this craziness
Always have.
going on. But I love it. Now I don't really like all the craziness.
Yeah. It was a great.
Kind of organize it a little
The
bit.
'80s was great. Living here in the '80s was just awesome.
What was San Francisco's original name, folks?
Oh, wow. Oh, I wasn't here.
You were a young tyke at the time.
I bet you I'll recognize it when you say
It's Yerba Buena.
Yerba Buena.
Oh.
Okay. Did you know, which is
Nice.
kind of funny, is that, and this is one of the things I also write about in the second book, is that, I mean, can you imagine what the builders of San Francisco did? Earthquake country, and we built our downtown on top of sunken 49er ships and
Basically buried alive, right?
Yeah, buried ships.
They were stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
We basically built it. Anytime we do any kind of digging down in the financial district,
Yes.
they actually have to have a historian down there. They actually found a ship that had a hole in it that had like a 200 or 300 or 400-year-old bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's in my second book. I write about
And
this.
it's worth like $1 million. And if you go down to like at Battery and Clay, there's a hotel there. And if you look at the side, there's a Viking boat that's stuck to the outside of the hotel.
Yeah.
That was something they dug up when they were doing.
They're all down here. You can find a map of them. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just amazing that we built an entire downtown area on top of that, because it used to be water. Yerba Buena Cove used to
Right.
come all the way up to where the Transamerica building is, and we built an entire downtown in earthquake country. Crazy that we do that. Crazy
It
town.
is.
Crazy
and,
town.
And we wonder why this, the largest building in our downtown is kind of tilting
Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's all in my second book.
And it's
You're gonna love
leaning
it,
towards
Barbara.
us, so
Yeah.
just kind of go like this, guys, every once in a while. Give some respect.
We won't be here too long.
No, we wouldn't be here long enough. I'm telling you so.
Good stuff. I love San Francisco history. It's rich.
Oh my
Great
God.
place to write about.
I've got drunk and walked around. I miss
Yeah.
Divas. That was a great place. I used to get hit on there a lot. I mean, I wouldn't go home with them because I'm still into I don't know, women. But it was beautiful. 'Cause, I mean, they still look beautiful. It's just I know what they're packing.
See, you're too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whole
so
bunch
you're-
of drama, see? Yeah. I think that's the voice you were talking about.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
then you got
The transit. That was a perfect example of the transatlantic right there.
Yeah, trans.
He had to bring it
We'll
up
call it
anyway.
mid-Atlantic.
But
now.
then you
Yeah,
got
we'll just
Uncle
call it
Charlie's
Midland.
down the block, where it's like, instead of, it's the trans fights. I love the mix of things, You see them brawl in the street, yeah.
I usually do a little flour, a little water, sometimes a little oatmeal.
Well, Paul, you know about the SF history. You've been to Power Exchange, huh?
That's a rich history. That's a rich history.
Yeah. It used to be great before HBO advertised it so much, then it was too media blitzed. And then now you go there and they're all asking for money. Like, hold on, let me.
Why do they call the tenderloin, Luke? You should know this. That's an easy piece of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because when I did my first show here,
Uh-oh.
there was a
Backstory.
we had a guy called the Jaeger Beast, and he was always trying to. Because when he has some Jaeger, he
Community.
turns into a beast. And
Don't we all?
So after the
Don't we
show,
all?
He would go out there and try to bite people's tenderloins. So
Excuse me?
So people would get
Nibble on it first.
As an example of that, so people used to go out and drink a little and bite people's tenderloins, and so they called it tenderloin because it was specifically out here.
I'll give him an A for wow. What the flip? I don't know if we're doing this Disney or not. Okay,
You're
sure.
a big fan of the Citadel too, right?
The Citadel. He's going all into the sex clubs.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
all
'cause
in. He's
we're-
knee deep.
Because I noticed we're I enjoy he was singing, and then we're worshiping Eva Minix over here, right? This is her picture.
Oh yeah, that is
You
hers.
know, like so it makes me think of like the sex stuff.
It makes you think of the sex because there's a BDSM lady up on the
San
board
Francisco
there.
changed my life. I used to be one of these guys, or
It changed my wife too.
mistress. Yeah. I used to go around. I would call women not nice names, and I'd be rude and mean, because I was just a strip club guy. It's all I knew. Still gotta respect the strippers, but then next thing you know, I mix it up, and a friend invited me to a burlesque show. Next thing you know, I'm having so much respect for women because they're like dominating me. They got people on leashes, and and I see women. Sure, they're taking a little bit off, but they're like, no, I'm taking this off. No, I'm not waiting for you. No, you want me to take? No, I'm taking off when I want to.
So you think that's
More
the solution?
empowerment,
More
yeah.
burlesque?
Well, more burlesque. We
Okay.
need more burlesque.
Okay, that's
in-
going to be a problem solver.
San
All right, I
Francisco
like
needs
this.
more burlesque.
Identify the problem. and
So
you
this
have
is
a
part of his
solution.
platform for
Yeah.
his candidacy.
Yeah.
Mark
There used to be a chicken
Clifford
for every
Yes.
pot.
isn't for legal prostitution. I get it.
Well, I
But
tell you, yeah. I mean, we're
burlesque-
going down that road.
Burlesque is still, you know what? Okay, don't legalize that, but uplift the burlesque.
You know what? I get that. It's like
Burlesque.
legalizing drugs will first start with marijuana. Legalizing gambling will first start with bingo. Legalizing prostitution.
We won't
will start
have
with
sex.
burlesque.
I'll just wet my finger first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're easing our way into legalizing every
What's going
vice.
It's like how I was, me and Dana at first. Wait, hold on, what am I talking about? Oh, but at first I was like just a finger, and then
I'm sorry I started that.
and I was like, wait, you actually want more?
Well, I like this. I like your platform. This is literally, you could be like a city supervisor with this kind of platform.
Yeah,
you really could.
exactly.
You know, it used to be a chicken for every pot. Now it's
Do
pot
that.
for my chicken.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I'm really losing my people I support. Leanna Louie had her on. Now she's been in every paper as removed from ballot. And you've probably seen her in the papers. Why did I see her in my hometown papers, which isn't even San Francisco? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she had a no-no, but she was here on your show.
Wow.
I'm the show for
She
no-nos.
sat right in that chair.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the show for no-nos. Well, she apologized. I don't know. I called the guy Nazi, I mean. And he takes some notes there.
No, I'm gonna look her up.
I mean, she's good people. It's just,
Yeah.
I see the passion. I see the passion. She put me on to do to speak at her. I support her, but I was like, dang, what am I gonna say?
Just comes to you.
I guess I did, because she is for a lot of things I believe in, but not legal. I don't think she's for the weed, but we don't need dispensaries in Sunset either.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I even had Dana delivers the cannabis, and she was like, well, okay, yeah, we don't need that in Sunset.
There's so much money in marijuana. It's it's
You want to sell some drugs?
crazy.
I know a cop.
I know what to eat.
Hey man, are you a cop?
You gotta tell me.
There was a guy who was talking about it today on the comedy. It was a comedy skit, but he was like literally talking about how he had to do a commercial, and they had him in all this the makeup, but it took him like 4 hours to put him in makeup, and he was a pig. And then he had to go meet someone to go buy coke. Like, hey dude, are you a pig? You gotta tell me.
People are so.
So silly.
See, you just gotta think, I guess, because people are so weird when it comes to cops. Because I don't have the best, or really the worst. I think logically about police, especially after years. I'm not just like, I guess I identify with adulting now, because there's a lot of people that don't. I'm like, I'm a grown man. I only got to think logically. So I know people that are like, yeah, the guy, he's not a good person, and he's threatening me and harassing me, but he knows, his brother's a cop. And I'm like, yeah, his brother's probably a sensible person at least that will not go along with his own brother being a horrible person.
Yeah.
Cops, just because they're related to someone doesn't mean they're going to cover them. They might be like, yeah, I'm not going to cover you. You're a horrible brother. You're like a tweaker. You're a horrible person. I'm cool, I'm cool with you being my brother, but I'm not gonna go. Like, people think if someone's brother, like, you're like, oh no, he might send his cop brother after me. That's a crazy view of police.
Yeah, it's a crazy view of police.
Even I think that. Well, I feel like sometimes I don't have much to lose besides my cat. If you, ooh, I was gonna say that F way. If you
do that.
I leave that for everyone else.
Yeah.
Because my mom could judge everyone else, not me.
Hi, Mom. Hey, Mom.
My
Don't
mom
judge him.
can't lock you out at
You're
night.
fine.
Oh, I'll take the cat door. But see,
He knows if he can get his whiskers through. That's all.
if someone messes with my cat, oh man, I will mess.
No
that
props
up.
for the guinea pig, though. Where's that come from?
Well, they actually died.
Oh,
I seem like I'm
still mourning?
Still horny?
Too soon? Mourning? still mourning?
Oh, I thought you said still horny.
That was my transatlantic. That was a transatlantic accent.
No, I had 15 of them, so no, I still
Yeah.
love guinea pigs, and I still wouldn't mind getting another one. It's just, I love my cat like as an only pet. She's made it to, like, if it was another cat, I'd be like, I'm gonna push guinea pigs up on you. I really don't care as much, but my cat, she deserves all the love.
You have less than 10 minutes to make it a 2-hour show.
Let's get one more song from Andrea here, and then we'll shout out time. Good thing Paul came in. I was just ran hard.
So this next piece by the same composer as the previous one, the Francesca Tarrega, it's called Capriccio Arabe. It's supposed to depict a mythical Moorish past of southern Spain. So, Capriccio Arabe.
in there, you probably Dire Straits.
Clap there.
So every time he plays a song, it seems like he seems to put another song laced inside of it. And I don't know if it's the original song, and I always want to go, stop, stop, stop. You know that part right there?
Yeah, that part, right? There's a part in there where it's Dire Straits. It's off the Brothers in Arms album. Are you familiar with the band?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably my favorite album. I'm really familiar with it. But yeah, it has this riff that I'm sure this song predates it, but it just has a melody that's just
but you got to think about it. So Mark Knopfler is such a classical guitar geek or nerd that he probably
picked up on it and put it right in there,
or that flavor to it.
Yeah,
he plays with his fingers. He doesn't use a pick, so it's gonna have similar kind of vibe to a classical guitar.
Yeah, but it's just like. Right out of the great album,
what is the name of the song? I don't know if I listened to that whole album.
Look at the Mark. I mean, I can look up Dire Straits.
Yeah, I don't know if I even put it together with a Dire Straits song, but there was one part that sounded like a. It wasn't even a contemporary song. It was kind of like I don't even know what it was. Quite honestly, I couldn't put my finger on it. I almost wanted to say, "Okay, stop." And say that part right there, but of course interrupt somebody's performance. It's like I'm a comedian. I might as well have you start heckling jokes. Hey, so my wife, fuck you.
And I was just raised in the.
That's my wife in the audience.
So I'm constantly interrupting people.
Had to start with the wife stuff. Yeah. Well, I don't think we say anything I actually thought of ahead of time. I have no idea. That's kind of how I want it to be anyway, since everyone's actually already experienced how things go with me anyway. That's been in the room, even Paul. Although I think he's been kind of surprised a little bit lately.
I have been. I've been pleasantly surprised, so that's a good thing.
It's a good show.
Well, there's some things I was going to suggest some recent, some rejected things since we didn't talk about it, where Madonna says sex is what keeps her going and reveals she regrets getting married both times.
What?
That was a topic right there.
Wow. Really?
Chris Rock going for the Oscars again, but rejecting it. But he crossed the line. One of his rejections, saying he's not going to do it, involved a O.J. Simpson joke. Offended the Brown family.
Right.
I had a guinea pig named Brown. So it's like a whole family of Browns also. But props to O.J. Simpson for his videos he comes out with daily. Whether you believe in the guy's politics or not, it makes you just want to share the video, because who can really believe anything he says?
What are his politics? I didn't even know he was doing daily videos.
He's supporting some people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like to hear.
Maybe he's one of the people who do the opposite of what OJ says.
Disney claimed a girl couldn't enter Epcot Center because she had a revealing shirt.
What?
She had to change. But it sounds like part of her thing was to wear a revealing shirt, because there used to be a policy where if your shirt's too revealing and they tell you to change, you get a free shirt. But they changed it all of a sudden. I mean, you can't.
Did they do that for pants too?
I don't even come out there. We just swing them.
Yeah, they won't let me. I never go into another Disney park with bicycle shorts.
Yeah. How are they doing on size 32s? Just joking.
And Rob Schneider roasted for saying he'd absolutely sacrifice his career for right-wing political beliefs. But I mean, I'm not sure about his career recently, so I don't know what he's been sacrificing. I mean,
it's like a lot of those artists that are there because of live streaming. They protest, and people don't know who these people are anyway.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna make like a Kirk Cameron movie or something.
Oh yeah, that's
all
what
right.
it
And
is.
the last thing was a mom says husband should pay for boob job after 2 years of breastfeeding. Hey, I don't know. You're married, or you should pay for the boob job, I guess, because I wouldn't get married. So.
Well, what would the male version of that be? Shall we say?
Pay for my penile implant, or pay for my vasectomy.
My nutsicle.
There's always
I just like to say the word.
There's always a counter argument. What do I get out of that?
We're called nut pods.
I'm not putting those in my ears.
They're creamer. They're creamer.
Oh, Phew!
It's that
How
concept
about some
of
nut pods in your
yeah.
coffee?
old man balls. You know, hey, you gotta get those.
All right, so
Take some
last
ears off.
words for everyone here. Yeah, I just want to go around here.
On my YouTube channel, if anyone wants to check that out, it's Andrei Ivanov, ANDREI and Ivanov. I post a lot of videos there. So
Thank you. It was wonderful. You did
you.
a great job, bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
Thanks so
we'll
much.
take a picture out front.
I tell you, for me, I got a slogan. It's "Life is a treasure hunt. Seeking you will find." I got it's on my website too. I have an artist that does make some really nice shirts behind it. And I tell you, is that life is, and the treasure is the people you meet. And I just met some really wonderful people today. Thank you very much.
Right on. Will you introduce them
Yeah.
to us? Because I'd really like to meet those nice people.
If you want to learn more about me and my books and things I write, you can go to typhooncoast.com. You can read about the things I've done, my events that I've done, and that are coming up. One thing that if you don't want to read the whole book of Typhoon Coast to get a real flavor for what happened to me in the Philippines, I did a piece of flash fiction that was published in a military arts magazine last year, and it's called The Fuck It Bucket. So look up The Fuck It Bucket by Mark R. Clifford. It's a wonderful, quick read that'll give you insight into a real epic adventure.
Just got a text message that this guy's girlfriend is pregnant. It's,
Tell him you wore a condom. That's impossible. There's no way she can be pregnant.
so rest in peace to his freedom there.
Oh, sorry. That's a bad timing on that one for me.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure which way you were going for the you can't have kids by butt sex if you're but then again, the guy is
Is that scientific? Is that just science behind that?
I've
Wouldn't
seen.
that be? I'd hate to be the person that finds out. Like, I thought you couldn't get pregnant. I just did it in the butt, and then the kid comes out there like all of a sudden. That would be a horrible way to find. I'd hate to be the person that finds out, like scientifically, a way you're not supposed to have sex, and then it just happens. Like, I did everything I was supposed to do here.
All I did was ride Muni.
Yeah. Or now right Bart, they got those posters up there that are
Hey, you know some.
subliminal.
Gives
Yeah,
a whole new
well,
meaning
Muni,
to
that's-
turnstile.
Oh, he didn't
Yes,
see.
it
Yeah,
does.
he didn't see the subliminal.
Oh my God! Did you see it, Paul?
Yeah.
So,
He's gonna show it to me
I'll show it to
in
you.
post.
Well, Muni, yeah. Some people don't realize.
yeah,
Yeah, some
post.
people say your knife can be like a penis can be like a knife. Yeah, that's Muni there. Yeah.
I took that a picture on the way over.
Amy got it right away.
Yeah, right away. What do you see in that? Subliminal advertisement, right?
Yeah, I see it.
in a second.
Hashtag cornhole.
Sorry.
Closer.
Cornhole.
Yeah, no, you don't need to blow it up.
And it looks nothing like the Great Lakes.
Oh, no, not at all.
That reminds me. I like it when Beavis and Butthead came back and they do reality shows instead of music. I love them talking about the teen mom shows. They do great takes on it.
This is Beavis and Butthead? What?
Let's do this in the transatlantic 1940s. And you can imagine a bunch of advertisers like sitting in a room. I got this great idea to promote Bart and how green it is, and this is what we're gonna do. How many people signed off on that? And I mean, here's me just
Why
kind
don't you just
of
give
gallivanting.
It's like giving Trump a Sharpie and having him readjust the map, dude.
This is amazing.
You think it's coming back in 2024?
Sure. Why not?
Gosh, the guy.
If he's out
The guy. What you mean out of what?
of the pokey,
You're not one of these
Gumby,
people that
if you know what I
You're
mean.
not one of these people that he's getting locked up, dude. I mean, it'd be a first. I mean, because I feel like every political thing.
Well, this made a left turn, or a right turn. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. I always feel like every political thing they're always saying this person, put him in prison. It's even the people that are against locking people up. They're like, this person needs to be locked up. I mean, I don't know.
Let me try this on. Hold on a second. Lock him up. Lock him up. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Go ahead.
Do you at least know about politics? I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying, do you at least know about politics?
I know enough not to make it out of this room alive.
Yeah. I tell you, one of the rabbit holes that I just went down recently was the Elvis rabbit hole.
What Elvis?
Elvis Presley, man. I tell you, he's got
okay.
the new movie out, Elvis, and then and there are a bunch of other ones out like Elvis Meets Nixon and another
That's
one.
on Amazon. Yeah,
Elvis Found Alive. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. I mean, that is even bigger than all the conspiracies
Elvis
around
works
our
the
politics.
PM shift at the AM PM.
It's amazing.
I like Bubba Hotep.
Yeah,
That was a good
crazy
Elvis.
stuff. Crazy
With
stuff. Crazier
Campbell-
than politics.
Campbell in it. You seen Bubba Hotep?
I never heard of it.
That was
No,
a good
neither
Elvis
have I.
movie. Where he's in a nursing home. He's got to fight off the zombies.
What? It's the real movie?
That's my kind of Elvis movie.
Bruce Campbell in it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was actually good.
Another zombie movie with Bruce
Another
Campbell.
zombie movie. Now we have zombie ice. Did you read that in the paper?
No.
The ice that falls off of the ice caps and floats around. They call it zombie ice. Always something new to scare us, right?
I mean, as long as it stays in the water. That's what I feel about how I feel about sharks. I'm like, oh, they're in the water. What? I mean, I watch Shark Week on TV, but why should I be scared? They're in water. I mean, it's just.
See, that's a whole other show.
Sooner or later, I got to take a bath, and so that's where I get scared.
That's a snake issue.
That's a snake issue. Worried about it coming out of the
You
drain.
gotta have one of those.
I won't sit down to pee again.
Yeah, the toilet. I've seen that in the movie. I've seen it once with an alligator too. I think in Florida.
No, not in Florida. An alligator in some body of water.
Bit off the guy's snatch.
Guy snatched or snatched off the
Or
guy?
he bit off his guy.
Maybe snatched
Bit off
off
the
a guy.
guy.
Something.
I'm trying to be gender specific, and he ended up having a snatch.
He ended up with, yeah, for sure, after alligator bite down there.
So basically, it got snatched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where the word snatch came from? An alligator accident, shall we say, in transatlantic. Alligator. An alligator bit my snatch.
2024 is gonna be wild, though. Who are our options? They're throwing out the DeSantis and all that. Like he's in Florida, though. Should we throw Hillary back in there? Let's make it fun. I think that's how.
Let's make it a cage match.
Call another panel back for that one, and we'll.
Should it be cage matches? Like I feel like
People who don't want to get canceled.
I feel like all this stuff is just the world is so political that they need to make it more fun because people are realizing that the political back and forth thing isn't fun.
It's not.
Bring back like MTV had the cage match
Yeah.
thing, didn't they? With the cage with celebrity death match.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Bring that in with these people. Why did they call off the Zimmerman match? That would have been fun if he lost. It wouldn't be fun if he won. That'd be horrible. Like this guy because it was racist. This guy shot a black kid with Skittles and kills him, and then he
It's just
wins.
become
That
another
would be
form of
good.
entertainment. You know, it's like you choose to, people root for their politicians like they root for their sports teams now. You know, it's
We
like,
need to do that. Yeah, should we? Should we?
but it's become so extreme. It's like the Raiders in the black hole. It's like you got the black hole on each
I've been
side.
in the black hole.
Yeah. These extreme fans.
I've been in the
Chase the
Vegas
rest of us
black hole.
away.
It'd be all old people battling it out. That would be awesome. The fight would last forever, right? I mean, just them coming together would last forever. And then they would break something just themselves taking the first swing. And,
What was that old movie where the old people are young again? What was that
That's
movie?
Cocoon.
Cocoon. Yes,
That was
Cocoon.
good.
Where
I love
Cocoon
that. And
meets
Batteries Not
politicians.
Included was good, and Short Circuit was good too. Bring back the old days. I mean,
Old timies. Bring back the
the old days were
transatlantic
good.
accent.
The old days were good.
Old timey.
I mean, I'm glad I could be in this day and age where we look and go, am I just an old person like how people hated Elvis back then because, they were old people trying to ban younger stuff. I'm glad I could look at nowadays and go, no.
It's the same thing over
it
and
just-
over again.
It just kind of, a lot of things just kind of suck now.
And it's history repeating itself. This is same
You
as
need-
back in the
You need
70s.
history, and there is no
Yeah.
nowadays history.
If you know your history, you can just say, you know what, these times will pass. They always do. Always do.
They had the COVID, they had the monkeypox. Now the tomato flu is coming, I heard. Tomato flu.
Gotta take a look for that one. It's something new every week, right? Literally. Something new every week. Polio even made an appearance.
Wear your mask again, so it's like in case tomatoes. It's gonna be great for comedy, man. You know, or horrible for comedy because tomatoes. What happened to that? Why don't people throw tomatoes on stage anymore?
I went out with the transatlantic accent. Hey, here comes a tomato. A tomato.
Some of the trans aren't.
The man threw a tomato at me.
No, I don't lie. Some of the trans are very beautiful. So you know, I mean,
transatlantic.
That was a joke on like wasn't that a joke on one of those night shows? David Letterman. Transatlantic turned it into a. Where is the transatlantic? Is that here?
Transatlantic?
Yeah.
It's from East Coast to.
Okay, it's New York. All right.
Europe.
So it's not here. All right.
Yeah.
That would be a transatlantic flight.
Yes, be transatlantic, or as they would say, transatlantic. That would be the accent, studied accent.
I don't know, but they're getting rid of stuff in SF, and we need to regroup. We need to take. I like how you said it wasn't a Make America Great, because I believe we're in a room that's not really. You guys aren't really feeling.
Make pizza great again.
That that too, but you know the Biden speech is against America. But we could part with it. You said make America. There was something you said. Pleasant or something?
Yeah, something.
Make America pleasant.
Yeah, I like it.
Make America pleasant.
Fun again, you know? Yeah. I mean,
right?
If you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, are you an automatic mega person that Biden was talking about? Where do we draw the line here? So if you're a conservative person, you're automatically this person. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. No, I believe in Make America. I believe in MAPA. MAPA.
There you go.
Make America pleasant again.
Yes.
MAPA.
Yes.
Or is it just this? Is this what does it? This?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Walk outside going like that.
Yeah.
MAPA. Make America pleasant. Hey, you know,
on-air personality gets shot.
Thanks, man. Call me an on-air personality. I love that.
Or transatlantic on-air personality.
For lack of a better term, on-air personality.
I've never been called that anywhere else. See, finally.
Call yourself it. That's what you got to do.
A MAPA.
It's better than saying on-crack personality.
Yeah.
That's
that
what I
was just
say.
a couple times.
Always better to be on air.
That was just a couple times, you know, them comics, you know, they always.
I gotta get more into the comic world.
Oh well, you
I think that's gonna be in my next world, out of the writing world and into the comic world.
You already got the lines. Make America pleasant. I mean, you're coming up with stuff.
Yeah, I tell you, it's spitball. It's good stuff. It's talking.
Yeah. Make America.
That's how you solve
pleasant
America.
again, because
you get to know each other. Life's a treasure hunt. Seeking you will find. You treasure other people. Get to know somebody new today. Get to know get to know. You know, conservatives get to know liberal. Liberals get to know conservative. And
I actually had.
Agree? Get to know somebody.
I had Marjorie Taylor Greene on my show actually, and she's real big into the scene. On the news and all that. It's just a trip. I had her what was back in 2017, I think, before she exploded on the scene, and all over Google, I guess. So I guess I have some Mark Geist. You know Mark Geist?
No.
Oh, he's real big into the Benghazi thing.
All right. I like it.
Dang.
I like it a lot.
So didn't get controversial there.
No.
My show does that. We could end there. My show does that. You know what? Because even
maybe we solved the problem today.
But by having the piece, because even when I had Marjorie Taylor Greene, it was fun. And like there was peace here because, like you look.
You had Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah. And
what?
And like the people in the studio, Critter was it, and you know, total liberal. And so I had people that were total liberals and stupid. But like I guess I make the peace because everyone's like. Like they just didn't want to. It was amazing. They weren't all up on like, let's get her.
Yeah.
You know, but she wasn't really talking like she wasn't into the.
She wasn't into the Jewish space lasers at that point.
Yeah, she is. And,
Who's this person? Marjorie?
and
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
QAnon and all the QAnon, right?
QAnon.
QAnon. Yeah,
I always think of it as Quiznos. They do this really great thing where they toast it.
That sounds really good.
Well, I tell you, I've always been like, as far as conspiracies, which I love as a fiction writer, you just got to love that stuff. Is that, I mean, conspiracies are hard because it requires people keeping a secret, you know, and that's the real thing about it. It's like, how could 300 people keep secrets? Conspiracies.
I mean, I think there's aliens already.
In this room?
Wouldn't even know. Wouldn't even know. I mean,
I know.
I've seen people that are just kind of like trying to figure out Earth.
Where did you find Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Ixnay.
That's the name. That's the name.
Did you get her in here in the studio?
Oh yeah, sort of, yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
Kinda, sorta.
Oh wait, are we still going?
We're at 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Are we still on?
We're waiting for the Guinness people to knock on the door and say, "Oh, great, longest podcast ever."
Oh wow!
I mean,
Has it been worth our time?
I mean, we could keep going.
We could give me. I mean, I've just been kind of winding
Mark had a lot of
down. I
stuff
mean,
on his mind,
yeah.
man.
I tell you what, if you want to solve the world's problem, just give me a call. You know where to find me.
They never come to us for solving world problems, do they? Have you had them knock down your door? It was like, hey, we.
Yeah, I think I've already. I think they got my number.
Is that good? That's
Yeah,
good, right?
I think so.
He was on the SWAT.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Mark did his thing.
I did my thing. I paid my dues.
You almost look like the guy from the
Yeah,
original SWAT.
Yeah.
Are you looking?
What was Hondo? The original Hondo.
Yeah. Is that what it looks like on my website? That's what it looks like. You can read about it. Oh,
Oh,
now?
really? Do you really say that?
No, I
I was gonna say, that's a good
my
damn-
stuff and
Pull out of thin air, man.
You know, there was it was kind of conservative. I get invited to conservative things a lot, but people don't realize like I really wouldn't fit in everyone's circle. I'm more conservative, but then once I start talking to the people, if we talk about everything, might not like me anymore because like we were talking about police just now, and I don't love police, but do I?
you like me, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I
You
mean,
know me.
but like police.
Yeah.
I think that's a little gullible. But hating them now, now I gotta go for the defund side, and like so like I'm in the middle. So it's just funny that you have to believe, you have to fully engulf and believe in a certain thing, or it seems like you don't belong, which I think is interesting because it's like I'd rather like I'd love to have police and support, but if it's more like support instead of we love, and it's like tell me why you just love any police out there.
You know what I think? This kind of hit me, and maybe when I turned 50, is anger is childish. You know, when I see an older man, particularly a man, even you see him on the news all the time, angry. You know, angry, and they're yelling and they're screaming. I go, hasn't life humbled you? I mean, being a veteran and being a cop, it humbled me. It didn't make me arrogant. It didn't, and I think when you look at somebody who's angry and they're raging, I go, that is like a child. It's like a child. It's beneath me. It's ungentlemanly to be angry when you're over 50. You know, and you see these people all over the news. It's like, why is that guy? Because he's a child. He's a child. He's having a tantrum, or she's having a tantrum. Anger is beneath me.
Definitely. I feel the love more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like though, a lot of times people just love. They're just trying to actually just fit in a group. I feel like because if you can tell them about a certain situation, not meaning like you're against, but more because if you're talking about a situation where you are unjustified, I feel like now you're hitting the kind of people that are like, well, you must have been doing something wrong. We're like, maybe just sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah.
Just sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but maybe.
That's what courts are for.
But it just seems like But that's the side that's more like, well, you must have been doing something wrong. It's like, dang, man. Okay, well, why do we have to leverage it? Why can't we just be like, we need police? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm the first to say, people have negative police encounters, I mean, and oftentimes people go, hey, do you know Officer blah blah? He's a real dick, and he goes, you know what? His fellow officers think he's a dick too, and but so there's always that concept. But when I worked undercover, I got jacked a lot, and I saw another side of policing to where, I go, man, I feel very disrespected now. It made me a better police officer.
Oh yeah, because you see the other side.
You see the other side, and but then I felt very respected by other people because, when I drove a beat up car and I looked a little like a drug dealer, and that's the way I was supposed to do. But I mean, I'm like, I would never talk to somebody like that, because it's mutual respect that gets you further. I mean, I'd arrest people who've been running on the land for a long time, and I would go, why did you surrender yourself to me? Why did you tell me who you really were? Because you know what? He goes, couldn't fluster you. You were so cool. I knew I wasn't going to get away. And so that's just, you learn so much to be successful in that career, and that gets you further, keeping your cool.
Yeah, some kind of little respect, but I mean, I do agree. You gotta intimidate people a little, but see,
best cops are the best talkers.
It's just
scared dog's a mean dog. It's just
a little more training, but I don't agree with the training people always talk about. They need to be trained more. It's like, you also need the right way, because
well, you gotta look at the big picture. I mean, the training, people would be amazed the amount of ongoing training officers receive. But you're having a person that brings their own personal baggage to a call too, and where they were, and those things. We had this concept which you don't use anymore. It probably won't come back, but it's called preclusion. Is it what were all of the decisions the officer made that came up to the use of force, and that brings in a lot of things. So when you get an officer-involved shooting, that's when all that stuff comes out. What was your last 24 hours like? When did you last sleep? Any alcohol use? Were you in a fight with anybody? All these things come out. These are standard questions that are asked for every officer-involved shooting, or where an incident results in great bodily injury or death. And so
and you got to come to work the next day.
You got to come to oftentimes, sometimes usually it's 3 days. Sometimes that's a
16-hour shift.
Sometimes it's a career-ending experience. And so the best thing people can do to really bring together, because the police department, I think anybody would agree, we're kind of sold out and used as scapegoats for other people's agendas. And they're good people, and nobody's become a cops now. It's like nobody's enlisted in the military. The military can't recruit or detain, nor retain people. We're becoming a real problem in America.
I realized as I gotten older, well, maybe it's just me getting better at life and growing up. I get pulled over. I was amazed last times I gotten pulled over. I just talked to the officer. Next thing you know, he's going about his way. It's like, whoa, what just happened here? That was amazing.
Yeah.
I got pulled over. I was coming back from the fair, Alameda, and I got pulled over on the side of the road. I was like, I tested it out. I was like, let me just talk to the officer. And I was like, oh, here's my ID, sir. Well, I was like, I'm gonna have to grab for it. But I was talking. The next thing you know, he was, man, just go about my way, and I was like, amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe,
you're dealing in California, especially the Bay Area. You're dealing with a true professional. The person's vetted out, trained, developed. Because of the sheer volume, you're going to have people that get through. But ultimately, what type of cop is going to purposefully do something outside of policy and procedure when it's being recorded?
I've kind of realized sometimes because my town has now just became sheriffs, not police.
Oh, what town?
At St. Carlos.
Okay.
I kind of felt like maybe that's better. Sometimes I know some areas where it seems like more police. It just seems like way too many, and then some. You get the rookies, and then you get some that maybe have liven things up. It's like, why so many? Because I watch country westerns, and I'm like, you're only gonna get so many there.
Yeah.
So they're already not gonna feel like they want to rile things up so much.
Mm-hmm.
they want to stay in power still. So they want to be one with the people versus being too aggressive.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had better experience when things became just sheriffs.
Okay. Yeah. Well, police culture is a big thing. You know, I mean, these are huge questions. But yeah, and maybe that kind of broke up the police culture, and you got a better policing culture in that jurisdiction.
Yeah, I found that. Wow.
You need to say the final words?
Okay, yeah, tune in next week. I've got some people coming.
Who do you
I
got?
bet you
Well,
got some
give
people.
us a little bit.
Yeah.
You always want to leave them wanting more, but not that little. Give us
check
a
my
little bit
calendar.
more than that. And then make sure these guys get their last minute plugs in, man.
Okay. All right. What's really happening? Tune in. It's actually going to be on a Monday.
Woohoo.
Like, not this Monday, but the next one. And I'm about to go to the restroom in a little bit. And yeah, I've got one person. She actually said she is confirmed next week. So
Who is that?
Monique Marie. And,
Okay, cool. What does she do for a living?
but hold on, let me see.
What does she do? She texts people randomly.
Hey, wait, this is supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, okay. So I
Surprise.
don't want to spoil a surprise.
Yeah.
All right, then. What about your guest? Where can we catch up with everything you do?
Okay, here you go. Yeah, take it from me.
Go ahead. No, you do it.
Oh.
You're good. I'm just thinking. I want to.
You-
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
Well, I don't. So for my upcoming concerts, people want to find me on Facebook, ANDREI, Andre and Ivanov, and you can add me, and then I post all my next concerts there. And then you can also find my YouTube channel. I post a lot of videos there. Andre Ivanov, ANDREI, and then Ivanov. So.
Right
Common
on.
spelling, Ivanov. I
Yeah.
like it. You can find more about me at Typhoon Coast, TYPHOON Coast.com. It's the title of my first book. You can learn more about me on my author's page, learn more about my book at Amazon, and hopefully make you a huge fan and line you up, and you'll be in for the second book in the series, Barbary Coast, coming out early 2023.
You ever like modeled nude? Like have like someone draw you?
Oh, me?
Yeah, or I don't know.
I used... Me personally,
yeah,
have I ever
you
modeled?
a nude and had someone like draw you?
Do you know somebody that has a picture of me nude? Cause,
No, but to make it happen.
because
for
they are
money.
they are floating around out there. I was a
Okay.
model back in the 80s.
I got the offer. Just I feel like
Yeah.
if I were to go nude, people won't they won't relate me to Tom Hanks anymore. And so I'm trying to. That's part of me trying to become somebody. Like here I am. I look like Tom Hanks. But if I were to go nude, people would go, he doesn't look a thing like Tom Hanks anymore.
Yeah, because Tom Hanks is like 60, right?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's older than that, maybe 70.
All right, so I'm gonna do some Uber Eats after this. So contact your Uber Eats, and I'm gonna deliver. Hopefully, you're not a high school kid wanting you to deliver to your high school. I was a little, I had to do that, and felt really weird. you
Yeah, I
know?
bet.
I mean, which is normal. And if you like it too much, you're probably not normal, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm on a high school campus. That's not right? Like, where's the kid? Where's the kid? I got his stuff. He's got. I didn't even know. I was looking for the office. I'm thinking, no way do they have me delivering to a kid. So I'm thinking, where's the office? I'm about to text the person, and the kid comes up to me and says, "Hey, are you Luke?" I'm like, whoa. Well, how do you know me? I think that's my Starbucks, and it's like, okay.
Who would
Weird.
order at Starbucks?
I'm like, okay, I gotta leave this campus right now. Here's your take it. I gotta
21 Jump Street.
I gotta leave your campus right now. Isn't that weird that they were all
Yeah.
they were all kids. The 21 Jump Street, they were kids undercover, but they were looking like they were in their 30s.
Yeah.
Jeff Spicoli ordered a pizza
That's
in
right.
Mr. Hand's
Mr.
class.
Hand.
Mr.
I
Hand.
felt like your time and my time.
Yeah.
That was before Johnny Depp had women pooping in his bed.
I guess you know you're a star when.
Yeah.
She owes him money now, huh?
Something people think about. What happened where were you during the Kennedy assassination?
Is that a wrap?
All right, guys.
Is it?
Yeah, we are now. That's what's really happening. Season 1, episode 6 is in the can.